Lay down, New York Giants fans.
Lay down, New York Giants
Lay
fans.
down.
I hope all you guys are enjoying your Christmas or whatever you celebrate. Happy holidays. But
Right.
we're going to have to get through another grueling 3 hours of New York Giants football before we get there. Obviously, at 4 o'clock, 4:25, I think it is, we got the big game of the day, Raiders-Jaguars. But
Yes.
when you're thinking about
Oh, is that 4:25? Sweet.
yeah, it's a 4 o'clock game. Yeah, I checked.
That is the big game of the day for us.
Big game of the day for us in terms of draft position. Obviously, we're going to get to see Michael Penix today, Bad Dogs guy.
I'm excited about that. I am more excited about watching Penix play than the Giants, as pathetic as that is, Chris.
And that'll be a narrative after the game. If Penix does well, how did Shane pass on him? That'll be the new narrative that they jam down.
Of course.
The people trying to get Joe Shane fired. But either way, let's just hope we get through this game with our brains still intact and we get to enjoy our Christmas. But let's say hello to everybody in the chat. What's going on, Mr. Big Blue? What's going on, Knock Andrews? What's going on, Blitz Fan? What's going on, Harry? What's going on, Roman? Thank you for popping in the stream. Big Blue says, I haven't watched Giant games 2 weeks in a row for the first time ever in my life. Well, I can't blame you.
I can't blame you either.
If we didn't do these games, I'll be honest, I'd have it on in the background, but I would not be very invested. Let's put it that way. And I'd probably flip the channel at halftime with how bad this team has been. So I can't blame anybody for tuning out as we get ready for the draft. I think the main thing you're looking for in these games now, Bad Dog, if we're being honest, is the draft pick. I mean, that's just the truth. We talked about it on our show. There's not even you can't even speak on the growth of the young players because a lot of those guys aren't even playing.
Right.
So it's
Neighbors and Tracy, and that's really about it. So
yeah. So
I got to be honest. I absolutely love that show we do on Wednesdays. I have so much fun doing that with you, Anthony, and Adriana. That's such a fun show, man.
Yeah. And we'll be doing our show again. Bad Dog was he couldn't do it last week. I was going to ask him, but something happened last week. So we'll do that as the draft season gets closer. We'll start doing our show again.
Yeah, of course, because the offseason is more exciting than this is, right?
The offseason is much more exciting than this. And things will start to heat up the last week of the season because that's when you'll start to get your whispers of what they're going to do with Shane and Dable and the coaching staff and everything else. And all I could do is speculate and throw out my prediction as to what they're going to do. Bad Dog does the same. I think if I'm not mistaken, we were both in agreement on the show. I think we both, if we had to guess right now, this could change in 3 weeks. Yeah. But if we had to guess right now, I think we both said Shane stays and Dable goes.
Right. Yeah, I think the coaching staff is gone. I think all of it. And I hope they keep Rosillo. I like him. I actually think he's done a pretty good job this year. Yeah. Honestly, once Thomas went down, the line went to shit. But I still think the line was, before he got hurt, was not perfect, but way better than it was last year or the year before. So hopefully, but you never know. I mean, obviously, if a new head coach comes in, he's going to want his guys. So,
if you fire, exactly. If the head coach goes, more than likely everybody's going to go. So it's just a matter of do they make that big of a change, or do they just change like they did last year? Some of the guys underneath him, the defensive coordinator, stuff like that. But I'm leaning they're going to have to do something because they have 2 wins and it's been a disaster.
Yep.
And Mr. Big Blue says Bad Dog looks like he's been coaching a high school basketball team.
Really?
Because of the facial.
Yeah, I actually have to clean it up, but I won't do this till Christmas Eve where I just clean it up. I think I'm going to keep it for a little while because everybody seemed to friggin' like the damn goatee, but I do want to trim it. I obviously got to trim it, but you can tell I'm getting old. I'm like, my wife loves this. She laughs. Like, look at the grays.
I have that too when I grow up.
Yeah, she's like, look at the grays in there. I tell my kid, I'm like, Mommy's the reason I lost my hair. You're the reason I have the grays in my beard. It has nothing to do with me being almost 50 years old, is it?
No, I have them now. I had my beard growing out pretty big about 2 weeks ago, and the whole bottom part is all gray.
Spots here and my sideburns get gray. The rest of it's pretty good, but this section is definitely
same for me.
It's starting to get
it's not gray here, not very gray, but this part very gray.
Yeah. The Giants are doing this shit to us, Chris. That's what's happening. When Chris and I started doing this show, we were mentally sound. We were young. Yeah. We've aged like 20 years.
Covering this team is like being the president of the United States when they show the pictures before and after. It's been a disaster. Sublight says, High takes so much hate. I mean, he's not very good, but he's a deep receiver on a team that can't throw the ball past 10 yards. Well, yeah, that's part of it, but let's be honest. The guy, they obviously want him to get on the field. They spent the 3rd round pick on him. They traded up to get him. Yes. It's not like he was drafted by the previous regime. Dable and Shane were part of that decision to bring him in. They want him on the field. The fact that he can't get on the
he froze. The fact that he can't get on the field says a lot about that. And when he's had his opportunities,
you're
back.
Yeah. But I don't know what you heard from me. But yeah, I just think the Giants don't feel like he's not good enough. That's just the reality of the situation at this point.
Yeah.
Barry says, rest in peace to Ricky Henderson. Sorry, Tana. Well, he's not my family member. Rest in peace to Ricky Henderson. Obviously, Bad Dog, you're a huge baseball fan.
Oh, man, I say it all the time. Ricky, that sucked. I loved Ricky. I mean, I'm a Yankee fan. He came to the Yankees in 1985, and that was the year that I really felt like I watched the Yankees in 83 and 84 with my dad. I went to a lot of games in 84, but I really wasn't into it. 85 was the year. That was a special year with the Yankees. I'll never forget that 85 team as long as I live. It was like I really fell in love with the team that year, and he was a huge reason why. He's the most exciting player I've ever seen. I mean, Ricky did it all. Ricky would pimp the home runs. He would steal 100 bases. He did the snatch catch out in left field. I mean, he talked to the bat. I mean, he was one of the he was the greatest leadoff hitter ever.
Oh, not even close.
Without question. Ricky's always been one of my favorite players. I absolutely loved watching him play. I used to collect so many Ricky Henderson cards and all. I loved Ricky because I think the stolen base was so. And this is before the pitcher. Can you imagine if the pitcher could only throw over a couple times? Ricky would have stolen 2,000 bases in his career.
Yeah, he'd steal 150 bases a year in his prime in this era. I mean, listen, Ricky Henderson played for basically every team in baseball.
He did.
If you're a fan of baseball, he probably played for your team. But when I first started really getting into baseball was the mid to late 90s. He was a part of that 99 and 2000 Mets team. 2000 was a disaster. He was playing cards in the clubhouse with Bobby Bonilla. But 99, or maybe that was in the 99 playoffs. But regardless, 99, Henderson was a big part of that team. He batted 325 that year. One of the all-time greats. He has the most stolen bases, like you said, in the history of baseball, most runs scored in the history of baseball, most leadoff home runs in the history of baseball. He's probably amongst the league, all-time leaders in doubles and triples. Hits.
He never really hit a lot of triples, which was ironic, but he had over 3,000 hits. I mean, he was awesome. I mean, he was the man. Like I loved Ricky. I mean, like I said, he was a huge part of my childhood as a Yankee fan. I didn't even know Ricky played for the Dodgers. I'm just looking at this. He played from 2003 to
let me see if I can name the teams he's played for. Hold on.
I would have never got the Dodgers.
Yankees, Mets, Mariners. I remember he played for them.
Yep.
Dodgers.
Yep. I would never got that.
He played for so many teams at the end of his career. I don't think he ever played for anybody in the Mets division outside of the Mets. I don't remember him playing for the Phillies or
He started playing for a lot of teams until like the middle 90s.
Yeah, Padres. I remember he was with the Padres.
Yeah, he's a Padre.
The
Dodgers is the one team I would not have gotten. The rest of them I knew, but I would not have gotten the Dodgers.
I'm trying to think of. I don't think he played for. Did he play for anybody? I don't remember him wearing a Brewers or a Cubs or.
No.
Nobody in the Central. I don't think.
You didn't mention the A's. I mean, that was
the A's, of course. Yeah. I was thinking after the fact, but yeah, of course, the A's.
Yankees were his big thing.
Yeah. Who else?
He played for the Blue Jays in '93.
Blue Jays. I remember that.
I remember that because he broke all kinds of records. He played for the Angels one year.
Okay.
He played for the Red Sox one year, which I remember
that. I actually remember that. I remember where the Red Sox got
in 2000. He was traded from the Mets to the Mariners in 2000. 2001 Padres. 2002 Red Sox. 2003 Dodgers.
And that was it.
That was it. Yeah,
that was it. He retired in 03. Yeah.
So he didn't play for his. I thought he played for more teams too. Maybe it's just because at the end of his career,
it's just constant team.
A lot because between 1979 and 1995, he only played for the Yankees, Athletics, and the 1 year with the Jays. Then he went to the Padres, Angels, back to the A's, the Mets, the Mariners, the Padres, Red Sox, the Dodgers.
Still a lot of teams, but yeah, like you, because I knew Ricky towards the end of his career because I didn't start watching baseball to the mid to late 90s. Yeah. So at the end of his career, he was flipping teams every year. But of course, he made it. He made his inroads with the Yankees and the Oakland A's. What's up,
man? The guy had a career OPS of 820 as a leadoff hitter. Insane. The Yankees had like two guys that had over an 800 OPS all year. It was Judge and Soto.
That's insane.
This guy did it in a 25-year career. He had an 820 OPS as a leadoff hitter.
He probably had the most walks ever, too, right? I mean, he walked.
Bonds passed him.
Oh, that's right. Bonds, of course, because he had like 200 walks at the end of his career. Yeah.
Bonds passed him. But yes, for a long time he did. He had over 10,000 at bats, only struck out 1,600 times. I mean, God Almighty, he was freaking awesome. Won an MVP in 1990. He was
one of the all-time one of the top, what you would say, 10 or 15 non-pitchers of all time. Like, I mean, when you have the most,
he's got to be top 20 for everything he did.
It's got to be. He's got to be. And I couldn't believe he passed away from pneumonia, which is insane to me. You know,
I didn't know that's what he passed away from.
65 years old, he passed away from pneumonia. You would have thought, cancer or,
Right. So, he was in such good shape for so many years. Yeah, it's crazy, man.
Insane. And Eddie Vasquez says, fire the Joe Shane train. Well, a lot of people are going to be saying that. We're not on that train, but I understand why people are. Miz says, what do you guys feel about we grab Cousins and draft Shador, still double down on next year's like Nussmeier?
They're going to release Cousins, which is crazy.
Yeah, I'm not against signing Cousins on a cheap.
I'm not either. When I saw that, I'm like, not at all.
Yeah, I'm not against that, especially if you get him on a cheap deal. You're still going to draft a quarterback if we're picking first or second.
But that'd be your bridge because you take Cousins or you take Winston or you take somebody. I totally agree.
I'm not against that at all. Cousins could start the year. If he's good, you keep him in there for the full year. If he starts to tail off, you bring in Shador or you bring in Cam Ward or whoever we draft. So, yeah, I'm completely on board with that. Now, if he has like a market, which I don't think he will because I think he's like 38 at this point and he didn't play well this year, obviously you steer clear of him. But if you could get him for $8, $9, $10 million, sure, why not? Take him on a one 2-year deal, whatever it is.
Yep.
And Lord Commander, thank you very much, man. I must be nuts. I leave Florida 75 degrees. We're at the 16 for Brooklyn weather. Yeah, I saw the thermometer last night. I think it was in the teens where I am, Lord Commander. And I'm assuming if you're in Brooklyn, what's the famous area in Brooklyn that always Diker Heights, I think it's called, that always has like the nicest Christmas lights. So I'm assuming you check that out, man. I was actually looking at videos on YouTube of it last night. One of the most famous places in the country for Christmas lights. So I'm assuming if you went to Brooklyn, you may have checked that out. But hope you have a happy holiday. And what's going on there, Joey Lutz? G-Men says, I've heard Cousins. It would only be a $2 million, cannot for a team next year. Is that right? I haven't heard that, but
I don't know.
I wouldn't think so. I would think he's a free agent if they cut him. But I don't, maybe I'm wrong on that. But either way, if you could get him for cheap, I'm all about it. I'm all for it.
Sorry, I'm just texting my wife about the heat. She's asking about
of course. What's up? No,
it was like, overnight here it was like 1 or 2 degrees. Today getting up to a whopping 17.
It was 2 degrees there last night?
2 degrees, yeah. 2 degrees, and I woke up this morning and so freaking cold. And tomorrow's supposed to be cold, but then by the end of the week, it's supposed to be like 50. It's
wow.
I'm just hoping I get through these 2 days with no issues with my pipes and
Keith says, shout out to my Buckeyes. Yeah, I didn't get a chance.
Oh, they dominated last night. I was out. We went out. My sister-in-law had like a graduation party at a bar, and I was just watching the playoff games. They have all sucked, Chris.
Yeah, the only one that was like somewhat close was the Clemson game, but even that
it wasn't really close. Texas really dominated.
Yeah.
I mean, they have all been bad. And I'm wondering to myself, is 12 teams too many? Mm-hmm. Or they have to find a way to get the 12. Like, in my opinion, Alabama, I know they lost 3 games. You can't tell me Alabama's not better than SMU.
And you're going to run into another problem.
You can't tell me they're not better than Indiana, Chris. You can't tell me Miami's not better than those. So, I would love to see Miami. Penn State would have been a great game.
And bad dog, you're going to run into the same problem in the second round because these teams that won their conferences got a bye with
Arizona State against Texas, Boise State.
They're going to get walloped. So the Notre Dame game should be good against Georgia, especially without their quarterback. And then I forgot the other game. There's the other 2 should be at least
Ohio State against
Oregon should be decent.
Oh, that'll be a good one.
But I think Penn State will probably win because they're going up against Boise State, I think.
New Year's Day, you good to do a few games?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
It'll be fun. Like I know I texted you last minute because I'm like I had to do a certain amount of videos, obviously. Then because the Lakers played last night, I wasn't home. Well, the game I wasn't here yesterday, so I couldn't do them. So I had to do an extra one. I'm like, you want to do it? It was terrible. I mean, if you're a Notre Dame fan, it was great.
Oh, the game wasn't nearly as close.
It was awful, bro. Yeah, as soon as Love went that 98, the game was over. The game was over. It was
the final score didn't indicate that game. That game was
over. My God. Indiana could not do anything against Notre Dame's defense. And I'll tell you, Notre Dame, I still think Georgia's going to win, but I would definitely take the under in that game. I think both of those defenses are really good, but I think Notre Dame's defense is underrated.
I think Notre Dame's going to win. Only because Georgia's not the quarterback.
I hope they do.
I think they're going to.
It's going to be a good one.
I think they're going to win. KN says 100% we win today. Most Giants think to give the Raiders the first pick. Who knows? We can't control it. I'm not going to get bent out of shape either way. That's always my mindset. We've been through this for the last 5-6 years, every year but one. Whatever happens, happens. Like at this point, would I be a little bit happier if they lost? Unfortunately, I hate saying that, but yeah, that's the truth. But whatever happens,
most fans are in that boat.
We don't control it, so it is what it is. I'm not going to lose my mind over it. But a win today, Bad Dog, would drop the Giants to like 6th or 7th.
Yeah.
Because we lose the tiebreaker to everybody because of our strength of schedule. So it would be a big drop if the Giants were to win.
Isn't it amazing how every year we're one of the worst teams in the league, and every year we have like the toughest strength of schedule? Isn't it incredible?
Now
it doesn't make sense.
Now the tankathon, everybody's pointing to the NFL.com because on the NFL.com draft order, we're first because it goes off of our schedule up to this point.
Right. And that obviously Raiders playing Jacksonville, that lowers their strength of schedule. We have the Eagles.
Exactly. Now if you're a Giants fan concerned with the strength of schedule as being the tiebreaker, because it's close right now from what I saw on Tankathon, you're rooting it's just common sense. An Eagle loss, a Washington loss, and Cowboy loss would make the Giants' strength of schedule go down the most because you play those teams twice.
Yeah.
So today, for that standpoint, you want all those teams to lose because it's going to drop your strength of schedule.
And we want those teams to lose every weekend.
Yeah, of course. Of course. But those teams losing are going to drop our strength of schedule more so than any other team that we've played thus far. So that's going to have the biggest impact. So
Washington plays Philly today.
So one of them are going to lose.
One of them is going to win.
So it's
true.
Yeah.
But that's 500. That'll lower our strength of schedule, honestly. And Tampa Bay plays Dallas tonight.
So you're rooting for Tampa to beat Dallas. We played Tampa, but we only played them once. Yes. So a Dallas win would be 2 wins essentially to help to up our strength of schedule. So you're hoping for Tampa. We're going to go 500 between those games, but you want Dallas to lose that game because it lowers the strength of schedule a bit more because we played them twice.
Yep.
Big Blue Boss says, here we go, guys. Another fun-filled Giants Sunday. Appreciate you both. As always, win or lose, go Big Blue. Thank you for being here, man. Let's go Big Blue, man.
Yeah, let's go right into the tank, please.
By the way, Bad Dog, I don't know if you saw this on Twitter. I don't know how legitimate this is. I just reminded me from what Flip just said. Does Shane play Madden on PS5? I don't know if this is true or not, but I mean, Diana Rossini's a legitimate reporter. It's not like some Joe Schmo guy on Twitter. Diana Rossini reported that Woody Johnson, the owner of the Jets, I forgot what it was. There was a trade that, I think it was a trade the Jets could have made for Jerry Jeudy last year. He told them not to make the trade because his Madden rating was too low. That was reported by Diana Rossini.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. The Jets are in worse shape than us. John Mayer may be a lot of things. Yeah. I don't think he's looking at Madden ratings.
Yeah. I was just dying to laughter when I read it. I mean, who knows? Maybe it's false, but with today, especially on Twitter nowadays, everybody believes everything they read, but that's a legitimate reporter that's saying that. So that was crazy to me.
Insane.
Crazy to me.
That's crazy.
And Rose Vegas says, if we don't hit on a quarterback, I don't see Neighbors being on this team long term. I mean, that's probably 4 years. True. That's probably long term. That's probably true, but you can say that about every guy on the team. Vegas, if the Giants don't hit on this quarterback, we're both anticipating Shane's going to be back. So Shane's going to get his quarterback. He's going to draft this quarterback. If Shane misses on that quarterback, they're going to give the quarterback 2 years. Shane's going to get fired. If Shane gets fired, new GM's going to come in. Yeah, more than likely. That's why everybody that's clamoring to replace Joe Shane, what do you think the guy's going to do? He's going to do exactly what Joe Schoen did. Everybody that's crying about losing Saquon Barkley, everybody that's crying about losing Xavier McKinney, he's going to try to trade Dexter Lawrence. He's going to let Kayvon Thibodeau go. He's going to want to upheave the team and bring in all his guys. So, if Joe Schoen were to get replaced and the quarterback fails in 2-3 years down the line, more than likely Malik Nabers won't be on the team because the team will be a mess.
Right.
We drafted another quarterback, and we won't want to pay a wide receiver. So,
right, yeah,
100%. The longevity of Malik Nabers remaining on as a New York Giant is going to depend on the quarterback. But obviously, him being on the team should help the quarterback.
Whoever we get, whether it's Sanders or Ward, I freaking hope like hell the guy hits, man. We know it's not easy. There's no guarantees here. I mean, I love Cameron Ward, but I'm not going to sit here and tell you, oh, yeah, he's going to be the freaking man. I don't know. We thought Trevor Lawrence couldn't miss. He's missed. Yeah. He's missed. He got paid a lot of money, but he ain't nearly as good as I thought he'd be anyway.
Yeah. Julian says, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you. Glad to be with you for another episode of the New York Giants Tankathon. Yeah. Thank you for making for another miserable season somewhat bearable. Yay, football.
Yay, football.
We appreciate you for being here.
Somebody told me that I had a really good track record with quarterbacks. I'm like, I don't think I have I'm like 50-50, which is pretty good, honestly, because we did the top 10, 70% of top 10 quarterbacks. So maybe 50-50 is pretty good.
Yeah, of course 50-50 is pretty good. But you see the way that these quarterbacks hit in the NFL. Yeah, Big Dash, good to see Big Dash. And I know where he stands because I've seen some, and I respect him. I can't even fight. I've said it on Twitter. There's really no good decision, in my opinion, in this circumstance. No matter what they do, it's probably going to fail.
Yeah.
So it's not like I'm like pounding my chest like, oh, it's what I honestly believe. And I gave my opinion on the Giants show as to why. And I'll, in case you didn't see it, I'll say it again. It's a reason why I haven't seen many people talk about at all on Twitter, and I don't voice it because I don't want to fight with Giants fans. I'm sick and tired of it. That's why I don't make a ton of content anymore, because I'm sick of it. I'm sick of the infighting. I can't stand it. I want this to be good again so I can have fun talking about this team. My reasoning for why I think the Giants should retain Joe Schoen is because what has Joe Schoen and Brandon Brown and this entire regime been doing for the last 6 months? They've been going from campus to campus, looking at these quarterbacks, looking at Shedeur Sanders, looking at Cameron Ward. They've been doing their research. So my thought process is it's the most important position. And there's other reasons, but I have seen nobody bring this reason up. The other reasons are quick turnover, firing a GM. What GM is going to want to come in here and take this job? Of course, you'll find somebody, but will you find the best candidate? Will you find a guy that's willing to come in with the job that Joe Schoen inherited and Mara only gave him 3 years and he never gave him a chance to draft a quarterback? That's a factor as well, but everybody's brought that up. But these guys have been scouting out these quarterbacks for the last 6 months, Bad Dog. Okay?
Right.
I would sooner trust them than trust a guy that we bring in who's an assistant general manager from another team. It's going to take you 2 months to probably bring this guy in with the extensive search that we all know.
We already saw with Joe Schoen. We already saw it.
Exactly. So by the time the guy gets in here, it's going to be mid to late February. He's going to have a makeshift staff, and then they're going to have a month to decide on who the quarterback should be.
Yep.
I would sooner let Schoen get his quarterback, and if he fails, he fails. You blow it up in 2 years. That's my opinion. I respect everybody's opinion. The team's a mess. It's not like I have like a strong defense for Joe Schoen.
Right.
The team's not good.
I think I'm like you. Whatever happens, happens. And I'm fine with whatever they do.
Yeah.
I'm fine with whatever they do. And I'm not fine with whatever they do. Because like I said, whatever the hell we do is going to be wrong.
Yeah. So that's just the way I feel. And I'm never going to be scared to share my feelings. I know the most popular thing to say right now on Twitter, if you want to get engagement and you want people to click your tweets and people to come to you, and I'm not saying Dash is doing this. I think he legitimately feels that way. But I know like that's the popular thing to do, to get engagement, to get people to jump on board. I've never been scared to share my opinion. I know 80% of Giants fans right now don't agree with me, or they don't, at least don't want to hear the reason why I think it's a good idea to keep Joe Schoen. I don't care. I think it's the right decision right now. And if it fails, it fails. But it's kind of how I felt, Bad Dog, with the Daniel Jones thing. Based off the factors and the circumstance, I thought it made the most sense to keep Daniel Jones. But in the back of my head, I knew it was more likely than not he probably wasn't going to succeed long term. I was hoping he was going to grow, but based off the factors, 25th pick, so on and so forth. It's kind of the same thing I feel about Joe Schoen. Based off the factors, I think it's probably the best decision to keep him, but he's more than likely going to fail. and it would be the same thing if we replaced him. The guy's probably going to fail. It's just, unfortunately, that's the way I feel about this organization right now. It's a mess.
My brother-in-law felt the same way last night. He's like, he goes, I just hope they don't, whoever the hell we get isn't a bust. He's like, I love Cameron Ward too, but who knows? He goes, whatever. I just feel like I think a lot of Giants fans are like that we're just so downtrodden right now and just beaten down that it feels like there's no end in sight. 2022, I thought maybe there was. And then we have watched it regress into just total disaster the last couple of years. And it sucks because you saw last year we were competitive at the end of the year with a third string quarterback. Andrew Thomas came back, but like our third string quarterback, Tyrod Taylor, like we looked better. And at least to me, like, people would always tell me I'm negative, but at the same time, I'm like, I'm not negative. This is just facts. With the Giants, they're not good. But I would try to find things to be optimistic about. And I'm like, look, we should have beat Buffalo last year. Yeah. We should have beat them. We're twice we were a yard away from beating Buffalo. Definitely had a chance to beat the Eagles on Christmas Day. Should have beat the Rams. And what was the other game that was really close? So those are 3 wins right there.
You said the Eagles game, right? You said
the Eagles and Christmas, definitely the Bills, definitely the Rams. Those are 2 games we should have won.
The Jets game, Jets.
And the Jets. There's 4 games. So if you win those 4 games, you're not 6-11, you're 10-7.
Or if you want to split it down the middle, you're 8-9.
You're 8-9. Yeah. When you thought, hey, look at, like, we're doing this just think of another year with a draft and this and that, and especially getting a guy like Malik Neighbors.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell happened, Chris. I don't know. I'll run you.
At this point, and this is the first time I have felt this way since I've been watching this team. I legitimately think the Giants are tanking.
I do too.
I've never thought that before. I've never thought that the Giants
guys are out. Yeah.
Yeah. I've never thought that the Giants, and that's not to say that I think Brian Dable's coaching to lose. I don't think that's the case. But I think as an organization, they're making all of a sudden all these guys are hurt. Like I feel like they're telling their play. Like I'm sure these guys have injuries. Yeah. But this time of the year, everybody has injuries.
But if we're in a playoff spot, they're probably
playing. A lot of these guys.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
So it's the first time I felt in a while that I feel like the Giants are. They're not giving
it 100%.
They're not giving it, and that makes me believe even stronger that Mara is going to sign off on bringing Joe Shane back, and possibly even Brian Dable. Because if that's the fact of the matter, and he knows that, like I don't think he would have signed off on that if he was planning to replace.
One thing I know, Chris, regardless, we got to get rid of Shane Bowen. That guy ain't it.
Oh, Shane Bowen's garbage.
He's got to be gone. Listen. We talked about Robert Saleh. That'd be great if we could get him to come in here.
Oh, right? I would love Robert Saleh. And he doesn't have to travel very far. I would love.
Right. I would love to get him in here as a defense coordinator.
And good to see Lou, man. Hope you're having a happy holiday. Says howdy to the dynamic duo. Happy holidays, and hope your Giants' wishes come true. I wish that we have a good football team next year. So hopefully they grant me that.
I asked Santa for camera. I just love that when my kid went to see Santa, I said, Santa, can we get camera board in April? And he just looked at me and he said, the problem's ownership. I'll never forget that as long as I told my son. I'm like, see, Santa knows everything.
There's no doubt about it. Ownership is a major. The problem is we can't change ownership.
Yeah, I don't think John Mara is a bad guy, and I don't think that John Mara is like intentionally he's too loyal.
John, I agree to an extent, but I do think there's times where the fan base uses John Mara as a scapegoat.
I agree.
In certain instances where he shouldn't be the blame. And that's not to say he's a good owner. I don't think he's a good owner. I'm not trying for John Mara.
I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
But the fact of the matter is, I in my heart of hearts believe that Joe Shane made these decisions.
Yeah.
And I could logically explain why he did. And some of them have worked out and most of them haven't. But I honestly, now he gives his opinion, as we saw on Hard Knocks. He basically said in so many words, I want you to bring Saquon Barkley back. They didn't do it. So if that was up to John Mara, Barkley would still be a Giant. Correct. So now you could say that he's trying to put his impact and his influence on the decision the GM would make. But if we're being honest, that's probably most owners.
He's the owner, right? I mean, he should.
The owner, yeah.
I
think he's letting these guys make the decisions.
When we did the show Wednesday, I think Anthony made a great point with they should have an executive operations that oversees everything.
Yeah.
That it's not John Mara doing that. He has like a football guy there that oversees all this stuff, and John Mara can just be the owner of the team.
Yeah. like Tom Coughlin was with the Jaguars late in his career.
Right.
But yeah, thank you so much for being here, Lou, and happy holidays to you, and hopefully your Rams do well for you, man. Chris and Bad Dog's intern, the best intern in the business, says, I hope the drones over here in New Jersey come together and pick up the stadium and drop it in the Hudson so we can end the season after today.
It's rough.
The drone thing is insane. We're getting ready to kick off here.
If people ask me, I'm like, I don't live in New Jersey, so I ain't gotta worry about that. Yep, here we go.
Giants
right up the rip.
And no drones today. The only thing saving the Giants from that is they're playing in a dome in Atlanta. As I know, Plains, I should say. As Atlanta will take a knee, and they'll start with it at the 30. Michael Penix getting set to make his first throw as an Atlanta Falcon.
Hey, listen, man, a Penix envy. That's pretty funny.
That's pretty
funny. That's pretty good. Listen, I can't lie. I'm a Michael Penix stan. I have been for many years. So, we root for the Giants to tank it up. So I hope this kid lights it up. I really do. I'm very interested to see how he does. I bet you they run to start.
I think, get him in the flow of the game. Plus, the Giants can't
play action pass deep would be pretty funny, wouldn't it?
Here's Penix out of the pistol. He's going to motion McLeod. Penix takes the snap. He's going to fake it. A little play action, bootleg, roll out, looks, throws it. It said bootleg, but he's a lefty quarterback, so it wasn't. And the ball's broken up there by Deonte Banks. Good throw by Penix, but a better play by Banks.
Yeah, that was good. Penix threw that on the line. Banks came in there at the last minute, knocked it away. So it is still a bootleg, but he's rolling to his
throwing side, yeah.
Yeah, he's rolling to his throwing side. Oh, he took a big shot there. Welcome to the NFL, kid. Welcome to the NFL, kid.
Good job by Banks getting his right hand in there. So it'll be 2nd and 10. And that's the one thing that I told you when we were talking about Penix as a prospect that always impressed me when I would watch Washington games is the velocity on his throws hash to hash. There's a handoff to Bijan Robinson, and he gets tripped up. A good play there by the Giants as that was McFadden, who's had a strong year. He only gets 3 yards there.
Yeah, that was a great play because if McFadden don't make that tackle, he's got a lot of space. And we know that our run defense stinks.
Not good.
Bijan Robinson could have a good day today. I won't be checking my fantasy team. Unfortunately, we lost last week.
That sucks.
Pat Mahomes was trash again. And I'm like, if he had the game last week, this week, we would have won. We lost by 7 points. So
yeah, he had a good game this week.
He did, yeah.
Here's Penix out of the gun from the 33. Giants trying to get a 3-and-out to start the game. Man in motion is Mooney. Penix drops back, looks, throws, and he delivers a bullet over the middle to the 50, up to the Giants' 48.
Drake London, the former first-round pick of the Falcons.
They have a ton of skill position players that are former high first-round picks on this
team. Kyle Pitts, Bijan Robinson, Michael Penix.
Drake London.
Obviously, Drake London. Yep, they got a lot. Look at the pocket. And look at how he just threw. Look at how he led Drake London. Yeah, look at where that ball is. I mean, right in the hands, not in the body, right in the hands.
So the Falcons will have it here in Giants territory as Penix is now 1 for 2 for 19 yards. He's coming out in the pistol, and the Giants jump offside.
And they did. Brian Burns got a little bit anxious there.
Let's catch up with a couple of these. And the intern, our other intern. Hey, Tana and Bando, thanks for doing the game today. Happy holidays to you both. Yay, football. Happy holidays to you, man. Thank you for being the best.
Bobby's saying yay, football when it's over. I'll tell you. I'm excited to do some of those college football playoff games.
It'll be a change of pace. A change of pace. So 1st and 5 for the Falcons as they approach field goal territory here in the dome. Pistol formation again. Penix motions the tight end left to right. Giants with a 4-man front. He's going to turn. He's going to hand. Good cutback run there. Makes a man miss. Up to the 35, down to the 33. Bijan Robinson, the talented second-year running back.
Yeah, he obviously out of Texas. And just look at the patience here by Bijan Robinson, just kind of looking at the hole there, making the cut back. And he's a tough guy to bring down, too. Beautiful cut there in the hole, makes a man miss, and is able to drag a defender for a couple extra yards. Yeah, he is really good. When the Falcons took him, the Falcons have taken a lot of guys where you kind of scratch your head like, why are you taking Bijan? Why are you taking Michael Penix? But they're pretty good. Drake London
in motion, right to left. Again, out of the pistol. Penix, play action, looks, throws, and it's dropped by London. He had green grass there for at least 5, but it'll be incomplete.
Yeah, London definitely took his eyes off the ball, looking upfield. You got to secure the catch first. We've seen that with the Giants for years. You got to make sure you catch the ball before you run upfield, and obviously took his eyes off the ball, looking to get that touchdown, trying to break to the outside, and he dropped the pass.
So 2nd and 10 here for the Falcons. Giants trying to hold him to 3. David, thank you so much, man. He says, hey, guys, Merry Christmas to both you guys. Hope Little Bad Dog gets plenty from Santa. And I hope and pray the Giants will finally get off the naughty list. Also, Devils got a big win last night. Well, Merry Christmas to you, David, and I'll let Bad Dog speak on Little Bad Dog.
Yeah.
Penix takes the snap and he throws out in the flat. And I think that was McLeod who got 7. It'll bring up 3rd and short.
Yeah, the Little Bad Dog. Yeah, he's a good boy, so Santa usually brings him presents. He's you would think a 7-year-old would be more excited, but he's just kind of. Maybe he will be. Christmas Day is, but I'll tell you, as bad as the Giants have been, that's something I look forward to. Is the little guy opening this stuff.
Oh yeah, for sure. I can't. Yeah, I'm sure that's like incredible as a father to get to see your kid get excited on Christmas. So 32 here for the Falcons at the 26. 20. We'll call it the 25.5. Man in motion's Mooney. Penix takes the snap, drops back, throws, and he was looking for London. He overthrew him.
Coverage. You think they go for this? Or you think they take the 3?
I think I would take the 3 just because the Giants can't score. Take your points.
True.
But they may go for it. The analytics probably say to go for it.
Drew Phillips had good coverage there. It really was nowhere to go with that. Well, they are going to take the 3.
They're going to take the 3. And it's the right decision because the Giants' offense sucks.
Yeah, true.
Falcons set to try to take the lead here. It'll be about a 43-yard attempt.
No coup anymore. Coup is terrible for them.
Snap. Hold. Kick is no good. He hooks it.
Wow. They can't kick for shit.
Wow. And the Giants will have the ball at the 33. A wasted drive there for the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah, it was just hooked. Gone. Looked like one of my tee shots, Chris.
As Matt Silva says, give the job to Brown. He's been scouting too. I've seen a lot of people come up with that theory, Matt, but here's it's why I don't think it'll happen. Joe Schoen inherited an absolute mess. We could all agree on that. Even though 80% of the fan base wants to fire Schoen, we could all agree he inherited a mess, meaning that he needs to be given a little bit of leeway. If you're telling the fan base that Joe Schoen was such a bad decision maker that you're firing after just 3 years, I call it like 2 or 2.5 because he had no cap space his first year. But if you're firing him after that short a period of a time, you're telling the fan base he is an atrocious decision maker. Yep. One of his decisions was to hire Brandon Brown as his assistant general manager, his first guy in command. So if you're going to fire Schoen, my thought process is just blow it up. If you're telling me that guy's that bad of a decision maker, I don't want you to hire the guy that he said should be his assistant general manager. Agreed. That's my thought process on it.
Agreed. Yeah, it's pretty bad.
And Big Blue says the playoff win set us back 3 years.
It did, unfortunately. It did.
Well, in terms of the quarterback, sure, yeah, because we would have had a new quarterback. Well, who knows if it would have worked, but yes, we would have had a quarterback.
Yeah. So I'm looking at the schedule for New Year's, and I'm thinking we could do Ohio State, Oregon on my channel, Notre Dame, UGA on yours. That work? They start at 5:00 on New Year's Day. That's Oregon, OSU, and then 8:45 Notre Dame and Georgia.
I think both those games will be good. Those are the 2 best games too.
Yep. So I think that since you're a Notre Dame fan, I think it's fitting.
Yeah. Who does Notre Dame play if they went? They would play the 3-6 win. So they play Penn State, right? If Penn State beat,
they play Penn State. Yep.
They could win that game too. Pistol Pete says, Bad Dog, do you think Ward or Sanders are the best quarterbacks in the draft? Why not Dylan Gabriel or Ron Howard? Keep Schoen. He needs to draft his own quarterback.
I'll be honest. I don't know much about Ron Howard, so I can't speak on him. Dylan Gabriel, I think is okay. He was he's a Sooner quarterback, but I think that, you never know. Maybe Oregon fixed him. Bo Nix was terrible at Auburn, went to Oregon, and I wasn't sold on Bo Nix because I'm like, well, he's terrible. He's just in a really good spot in Oregon. They have a really good team, but he ended up being pretty damn good.
And he got put into a perfect offense for his skill set.
Correct. Dylan Gabriel is not the guy. If the Giants drafted Travis Hunter and took Dylan Gabriel at the beginning of the second round, I'd probably be happy with that, but I don't think that's going to happen. I just don't think he's a top 5 quarterback.
Here's Drew Lock from under center. Play action, looking downfield, scanning. He'll check it down. That's caught by Neighbors. Neighbors barrels over 2 defenders. One thing you can say about Neighbors, man, this guy with nothing on the line, nothing to play for, he has played as hard as he possibly can down the stretch. You got to respect that about the rookie.
Agreed. No question. And he's trying to set a rookie record. Think about all the receptions he has and the yardage he has, and think of who's throwing the ball. if we could get a guy that throws the ball down the field, we could have something special.
So 2nd and 4 after Neighbors picks up a hard full at 6 yards. Drew Lock out of the gun from his own 39. 3 wide. Now he's going to motion Wandell out wide. Takes the snap. Lock looking. Scans the field. Comes back to his right. Nobody open. Just get rid of it, Lock. And he does, thankfully. He was going to lose 8 yards if he ran out of bounds.
I was going to say, did he step out of bounds first? Like, he just launched that thing at the very end.
Yeah. So to be 3rd and 4 as he just got that out of bounds.
Take a look at the offensive ranks of the Giants, 29th overall and last in points. Solid.
That's good. That's good. But yeah, I think most people think those first 2 guys you mentioned, Peter, the consensus top 2 quarterbacks in this draft in any specific order.
Yeah, I don't think that Dylan Gabriel's worth a top 5 pick. If we failed at 8th, I still probably went on there. But I mean, what else are you going to do? They probably would have to go with a guy like Dylan Gabriel at that point.
Or they could bring in a guy like Cousins, I guess, to man the fort for a year. But and Locke drops back, throws off his back foot, and nobody was open. Wandell was well covered. He kind of just got rid of it. So the Giants,
he was under pressure again. Well, Chris, we're gonna punt. This is new.
And Pistol Pete says, "Tane, I miss you." I know. A lot of people have been saying that, Pete, and I'll probably do it after the football season. Not every game like I did during the pandemic, but I'll probably mix in a game or 2 a week. I watched the Knicks game last night. They were down by, I want to say it was 14
points. Played the Pelicans, right?
They were down 14 points against them like midway through the 3rd quarter, and then they ended up winning by like 12. Or you
don't want to lose to them. They're the worst.
No, that would have been embarrassing. Yeah. I was hoping Cat would get his 3rd straight 2020 game, but it didn't happen. Punts away by Gillen. And that's a good punt.
I was going to say, it's a good kick.
You say it every week. Gillen's gotten a lot better overall this year.
He's got a lot of practice, Chris.
Yes, he has.
Let me go potty for the first time today. I don't feel like I have to pee a lot today, but
we didn't set the line before the stream started.
We'll go 3.5.
After that information, normally I would have set it up 4.5, but Bad Dog says he's not anticipating much.
Not feeling a lot of piss today.
We're going 3.5.
3.5. So, not on my game today.
Yeah. But Pete, I'll definitely do so. I'll sprinkle in a Nick game a week, probably after the football season. I know I said I was going to do it, but now with the holidays and everything, probably after the football season, not waiting until the playoffs because Giants won't be in it. I'll sprinkle in a game or 2 a week after football season. Toasty says, I think Mara wants to win, but doesn't know football. Well, he's not the guy that's making the decisions, or he shouldn't be the guy that's making the decisions. But I do think he needs to do a better job of, if we fire Joe Shane, of bringing in better GMs. Dave Gettleman obviously was a failure, and we'll see what happens with Shane. I still think he's going to get at least 2 more years, though. I think he's going to get to draft his quarterback. But I don't mind if my owner doesn't know football. I mind if my owner tries to put too much input into things when he doesn't know football. Scotty says either Shane or Dable will be gone, maybe both. You cannot go 2-15 and kumbaya in the offseason. Things will happen. Thanks for the streams. I agree. That's why I think it's going to be Dable that goes. I know a lot of people are saying Dable's done a better job than Joe Shane, which I probably agree with. He won Coach of the Year his first year here with the Giants. But that's usually, if one's going to go, it's the coach before the GM. So that's why I'm leaning that'll be the case. Bodo says, 3 things I've learned the last couple of days. The 12-team college playoffs has been an absolute disaster. Good to see you, Bodo, man. So far, Pittsburgh will lose the rest of the games, and you two deserve better from the Giants.
Appreciate it.
Completely agree on that last point. Not just us, everybody that roots for this team deserves better.
Right.
As far as the playoff goes, I don't mind the 12-team playoffs, but the format that they have it, where a team like Boise State and Arizona State get a bye and they get the 3rd and 4th seed, that needs to be improved upon. They need to get like Bad Dog said, they need to get the 12 best teams. But the other thing that I don't like about it, and it's, even though I love March Madness, it's my favorite sporting event in all sports. I love March Madness. But as much as I love it, it waters down the regular season. Like, I love St. John's. I watch most of their games. But when they win a regular season game, it's like, all right, in March is when it counts. If they could go on a run, well, that matter. So it's kind of the same thing now. The larger you make the college playoffs, the less important the regular season is. You have teams with 3 losses that are in the playoffs, and if they could go on a run, they could win. So I think there's pros and cons to expanding it. But I'm leaning, I like the expansion, but I think they need to tinker it a little bit.
Yeah, I think so too. It's always got a little kinks at the beginning where they fine tune it.
Here's Penix. He's going to turn and hand to Robinson. Robinson makes 2 men miss, still on his feet as he gets spun down for a pickup of 7.
He's good.
Yeah, we're going to have trouble. We're going to have trouble against him today.
Yeah, he is freaking good. No question about it, man. He is a good running back.
And Jackson, thank you very much. Going to read that after this play. Appreciate you and everybody else for being here. 2nd and 3 as we're approaching the 10-minute mark. No score here in the first quarter. What I like the Falcons uniforms. What do you think of the old black?
Not bad. I'm not really a busy guy, but I like them.
Yeah, they're not like flashy, but I like them. They work for me. There's a handoff to Robinson. Robinson off the left edge. He'll pick up 7, maybe 8. A really good tackle there by the rookie Andrew Phillips.
Yep. Yeah, it was a good ankle tackle by Drew Phillips. Look at, this is the way the left tackle seals this off. This is easy. That's just, you're not going to get an easier run than that for 8 yards.
That was actually a really good tackle. He was able to work around.
Make a really good tackle. He got off McLeod's block. And
1st and 10 for Penix. He drops back, looking downfield. He'll throw, and it was wide of the tight end. Incomplete. It'll be 2nd and 10.
That is definitely something he has a tendency to do. He does sail some passes without question. There's late pressure, but Penix can be a guy where when he's on, forget about it. But if he's off a little bit, I've seen, you saw this against Michigan when he didn't have his best stuff. You know what I mean? He was a little bit wide. He'd sail some passes like that happens. And, obviously he's going to be nervous. It's your first game in the NFL, so we'll see if he settles down.
They should keep going to Robinson. We're not stopping him. Man in motion. Penix takes the snap, drops back, looks to the right. He'll throw and hit his man for about 5. That was Drake London. Belted in on the tackle to bring up 3rd and 5.
Yep, that was the hot route. McFadden came with a blitz, got there, and Penix had to get rid of it quickly.
As the Eagles look like and Saquon Barkley, the former Giant, goes in as the Eagles take a 7-point lead over Washington. Jackson says, I feel Shane took a playoff roster and turned them into one of the worst rosters in football. Blow it up. Giants need to finally commit to a full rebuild, new GM, coach, and quarterback all at the same time. Maybe that's what they'll do. I don't feel that was a playoff roster. I know they made the playoffs, but I don't feel that was a playoff roster.
That's why Dable won coach of the year that year.
Yeah. But I understand your point. Man emotions, London. Penix takes the snap, drops back, steps up in the pocket, and a good play by Kayvon Thibodeau to bring him down from behind.
Yep. Penix, though, that's one thing he'll do. He keeps looking downfield to make a play. And he got out of there a little bit late, and Kayvon Thibodeau saved a 1st down. So the Falcons have to punt again.
You like to see Kayvon not quit on this play.
Yep. He was looking to throw it there, and Kayvon caught him from behind.
So they might have got a yard there, but regardless, they did. Not a sack, but a huge play.
Yep.
Falcons set to punt it away as we approach the midway point of the first quarter. Still no score. And the punt is away. Giants are going to field this at their own 24, and they'll be spun down at the 30. They'll start there. But we'll see. Maybe that's what they elect to do, Jackson. I'm just leaning that won't be the case. But I wouldn't be shocked at all if they do that. That's what the fans want. We'll see if Mara listens to the fans.
Tennessee's up on Indianapolis, rather. That's a game for us to pay attention to as well. The Titans.
And
Cincinnati's beating Cleveland 7-0. Jets and Rams are 0-0.
Jets will win that game. You just know the Jets always do that. They'll win that game.
Right.
And Christian Bad Dog's intern says, did you guys hear about the Giants? Yeah, we actually talked about that at least briefly on the show this week. Yeah. The Giants PR calling out Bobby. Yeah, I don't know. Bob, I actually talked to Bobby. I called Bobby that day when I found out on Twitter before he talked about it on his podcast. And so that's how I know it's legitimate and true. I don't know what was said in the conversation. I don't know what they exactly said to Bobby, but I do know that the head of the PR did call him, which is not a good look for the Giants. You shouldn't really care what the guy on YouTube has to say about, your football team and what, and I think they feel like Bobby at least partially influenced the playing stuff over the stadium, which I guess is probably true. But it's not a good look for the Giants that they're concerning themselves with a podcaster and his opinion on the team. At the end of the day, you should be confident in what you're deciding to do from in-house. If you're not, then you got to get somebody who is. I don't know the specifics. I don't know if the PR did that on their own. I don't know if Mara told that, so I don't know all the specifics. But regardless, it's not a good look for the New York Giants.
Yeah, agreed. Definitely agreed on that one. They shouldn't care. Who the hell are we?
Yeah.
Guys on YouTube, but obviously we're the alternative media, and I guess it is what it is.
Oh no, we are. not just in sports, but just in general. You know, the alternative media is it's becoming more of an influence than ever before, and I think the Giants probably know that. So yeah. Because I remember years ago, Bad Dog, I made videos, not calling for the GM. I've made videos, very mean videos about John Mara. But back then, they probably didn't view alternative media as a threat the way that they do now. So I'm sure that has something to do with it.
Well, I don't know, man.
Go ahead, Bad Dog.
No, I was just gonna say I freaking made all kinds of shit about that, all of them.
So. Yeah. Uncle Freddie says Bad Dog looking like Chris Kreider today with the
Chris Kreider. I'm going with a hockey look without question. I do kind of have a little Chris Kreider look. He's got a little gray in the goatee as well. Yeah. Definitely.
Here we go. Giants will have it at the 30. Lock under center. We'll see if they give the ball to Tracy. I don't think he had a touch on the first drive.
He did not.
And Lock will take the snap, and they'll go to Tracy. Tracy up the middle. He's able to push forward for almost 4.
Yeah, he's had a good year. I mean, listen, I understand Saquon Barkley's having a record-setting season in Philadelphia, and I get it. But, you know, I don't know. He might have been better than Tyrone Tracy here. Would it have mattered? Would we have won more games?
Maybe 1 or 2. But
you know, I mean, we wouldn't be a playoff team.
Yeah.
So this is one of the few guys I think Joe Shane actually did a really good job of. I think he had a good draft.
Draft class in general, he did a good job.
But Tracy's been really good.
Here's Lock out of the gun. He'll take the snap. He's going to throw to Neighbors. Neighbors with a lead blocker, Bellinger. And look at Neighbors. I love the effort this guy's putting forth the last couple of weeks, man. Neighbors was dead to rights for a gain of about 2. He broke 2 tacklers. He bounced off. He was able to pick up an extra 4 yards.
Listen, he's going to have over 100 catches this year. He's grabbing at his
pec or something.
Yeah. I don't know what happened there, but hell of a job by Neighbors, like I said. I mean, you can't question his kid's effort. You know, he said he's grabbing at his wrist there. I don't know what the hell happened there.
Giants have it at the 40 as they pick up the first down. Lock, play action, throws, sets up the screen to Tracy, and Tracy's pushed out of bounds for a gain of 9. Something the Giants were doing really well early on in the season. We would talk about it for 3-4 straight weeks that we were stunned at how strong the screen game was. The Giants have kind of gotten away from that. I'm good. Yep. I'm happy to see that they're getting Tracy more involved in the passing game there.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to the way he landed, because usually this here is a
bicep, maybe looks like
bicep, but now he's out off the field, and I don't know, man. It could be, this is like your bicep, but I don't know. That's want to speculate, but that's obviously not good.
Man in motion's Wandell. He'll take the snap. He gives to Tracy. Tracy makes a man miss in the back. That was all Tracy.
He's still pushing.
5 yard. Tracy, first off, it looked like a bad snap. It looked like Lock kind of fumbled the snap, and it was a weird exchange on the handoff. Tracy's able to make a man miss. Bad snap. And he's able to make a man miss in the backfield.
Evan Neal pancaked somebody, dude. Like, I don't know if you saw that. I don't know if you can see it here, but watch Evan Neal. I don't know if you're going to be able to see him. He pancakes the shit out of somebody. They didn't show it, but he pancaked somebody on that block.
1st and 10 as they bring Motor into the backfield. Giants have it at the Atlanta 46. Lock takes the snap. He gives there to Motor. Singletary pushes forward for 5. Giants are doing a good job running the football in this drive.
They really are. I mean, it's been... I feel like we've had a lot of drives where we've actually moved the ball, but we don't score, whether it be a turnover, missed kick, or we just end up penalty, if something happens. But this drive looks good so far.
2nd and 5, Giants on schedule. Singletary in the backfield. They got Hyatt wide left. Wandell in the slot. Hopefully Neighbors okay. Man in motion, Slayton. Lock will take the snap. He's going to give to Singletary. Singletary off left guard, picks up 3. 4 down territory. You agree?
I was going to say, definitely. You're 2 and 12. It's definitely 4 down territory here, without question.
So you probably run it again.
Yeah, I would run it again. Either that or you do a play action, take a shot.
Yeah.
You're going to go for it on 4th down.
So 3rd and 2, I should say, here for the Giants as they pick up 3 on 2nd down.
Lorenzo Carter, the former Giant out there.
Lorenzo Carter, man.
Yeah.
Always teased us.
Yes, he did.
Here's Locke, Wandell in motion. Locke will take the snap there, and they are going to fake it and try to look downfield. Locke throw. What a catch by Bellinger.
Great catch by Belly in great coverage, and Bellinger with the strong hands pulls it in for a first down.
Bellinger picks up 5 there to get the first down. It was a really well-defended pass, but Bellinger was able to hold on to it.
Yep. Strong hands.
Locke also took a lick after that. He probably could have been flag.
Probably should have been, but they're like, you're the Giants. You don't get that call.
So Giants now have it at the 33 after the catch by Bellinger, 32, I should say. Locke under center. Tracy back in the game. Man in motion's Wandell. Locke takes the snap, play action. It's a designed wide receiver screen to Wandell in the slot. Wandell spins off a tackler. He picks up 8.
We thought we'd see a lot more of that this year with Wandale Robinson getting those bubble screens and the quick slants and having him work after the catch. But gotta tell you what, and the Giants so far have really beaten Atlanta. And if you're a Falcon fan, you got to be embarrassed. I mean, you have a chance to win the division. You're only 1 game behind Tampa Bay. And I think they still play each other another time.
And you're home.
Right. You cannot afford to lose this game. Tampa Bay is a Dallas team that they should beat later tonight.
So 2nd and 2, Giants orchestrating a really good drive here. Locke under center. He's going to give to Tracy. Tracy up the middle. He picks up 5 and a first down up to the 19.
Yeah, Giants are just dominating up front in this run game right now. Obviously moving the ball well. They're getting, not chunk yards, but you're getting 4 and 5, which is what you want. Those are effective runs. They've taken a lot of time off the clock.
Neighbors back in, which is good to see.
Yep.
So I'll give Dable credit on this drive. He's done a good job.
He has.
But you got to finish.
Mm-hmm.
Giants here from the 19. He's got Tracy to his right. Locke out of the gun. Man in motion, Wandell. Locke takes the snap. It's another design screen to Wandell. Good lead block by Slayton, and he'll pick up 6.
It's just been these quick hitters and the good running game. That's really what they've done here to move the ball down the field. Death by 1,000 paper cuts.
And Triple G says Neighbors has hurt every game, kind of like Nick's. Well, knock on wood, nothing too serious yet. But, yeah, he missed a little bit of time, dinged up here, but he's back in the game.
Well, a concussion. I mean, that's,
Yeah, that happens.
But he's fighting through. I mean, obviously he's nicked up, but he's still out there.
2nd and 4 for the Giants here at the 12. They're going to motion Bellinger. Now he's in the eye. Wandell in motion again. Locke turns. He hands. Tracy pops it outside. Tracy spins out of a tackle. Get the first down up to the 9. Good running. Tracy's good, man.
He is good. I mean, that's what I'm saying. He's definitely showing he can play. He definitely can be our starting running back next year without question. I mean, it's just, we need to get other parts here, but he has definitely been impressive this year. There's a couple of bright spots. He and Malik Neighbors have definitely been a couple of them. Look at that though, Chris, 27 drives of 10 plus plays. It's second to the Chiefs. Like we've been able to move.
Just haven't been able to.
We just haven't been able to punch it in.
Man in motion is Neighbors. First to goal here from the 8. The Falcons bring the blitz. Locke rolls out, throws, nearly picked off. 2nd and goal.
That was a good play by the underneath defender. They're knocking that away because Neighbors was open. I think it was Bates that knocked that down. So that was a good play because Neighbors is breaking open in the end zone here.
Good double move there by Neighbors.
Yep.
It was actually
he is lucky. I think. In fact, I was going to say he had 2 receivers in the same spot. So I don't know who that was to, but it went right through the hands of Bates. He could have had a pick. I think that was intended for Wandale.
Yeah, looked like it. 2nd and goal for the Giants. I think I'd run here to try to give you the option to either run or pass on 3rd down, knowing you're going for it. Well, man in motion is Slayton. And they're going to fake the run, and they're going to hand it to Slayton. A well-designed play there as they get it up to the 3.
And that should end the first quarter.
And that
this drive's been like 8 minutes.
Yeah. So now the entire playbook's open to you because you could go for it on 4th.
Giants have led 6 minutes in the last 9 games.
That's insane. The Giants in the last 9 games
have led for 6 minutes.
And they've trailed for like 421 minutes, it says.
Insane.
Giants probably won't snap this, you would think.
Yeah, I wouldn't think.
and they won't. We'll go to the second quarter. No score.
I always wonder why they even bother lining up.
Well, maybe you get lucky and you get them to jump off sides.
Yeah, I guess. But they didn't even try to they didn't even try a hard count.
Yeah. So. And why are they trying to win the Giants? Well, I mean, half these players aren't going to be Giants next year, so they don't care about the draft pick.
Yeah.
They're out there trying to play for their next contract, whether that's with the Giants or somewhere else. So
exactly. This is crazy so far. That the Giants have dominated this game.
Yeah,
so they have dominated without question.
Razil says, guys, it does, Razil. If we're talking about draft position, it does matter because the Giants. The Giants.
I mean, they would go from second to seventh. They would
go from second to seventh because the tiebreaker. I mean, it depends on how many of those three-win teams win, but the Giants would lose the tiebreaker to everybody that's a game behind them. So.
Cleveland needs a quarterback.
Jets.
The Jets need a quarterback. The Titans need a quarterback.
Yeah.
So it does matter. The Jacksonville Jags do not. So if they lose, it's fine. The Raiders need a quarterback. So yeah, you're not getting a quarterback.
You're dropping out of the top, more than likely dropping out of the top 5 if they win today.
Yep.
Let's see. Did you
guys are proving that they can drive? They need to fumble a handoff or something here.
Bodo says, did you guys get salmonella poisoning from your turkey? I did not. No.
I did not either. I didn't eat the turkey. I was a turkey and did the game on Turkey Day like an idiot.
Good to see Meat, man. Hope you're having a happy holiday. Thanks for being here, man.
Yepers. Oh boy, it's been a.
And Robert, man, thank you for being here, man. Hope you're having a happy holiday, Merry Christmas, or whatever you celebrate. He says, I have a bad feeling they may win this one. They might. I mean, it's the NFL, right? I mean, you need a lot of luck, regardless how bad your team is, regardless of what your intentions are in terms of playing your best players or not. You need a lot of luck to get.
Cleveland beat Pittsburgh the other day, right? So you never know. You never know.
Wouldn't be surprised at all if they win.
That'd be a totally Giants thing to do.
Yeah.
It'd be a total Falcons thing to do too, just to lose to the Giants.
Yeah. So it'll be 3rd and goal for the Giants at the 3.
We need a holding penalty right now, right? Doesn't that usually happen down here?
I think they're going to go. I think they're going to run here, and then I think they'll go for it on 4th down.
Yep.
But we'll see. Giants have it at the 3.
I guess it depends on how many yards they get. If they get it to the 1, probably. If they don't get any more yards, I think they would kick, but you don't know. Empty backfield, which I'm surprised.
Empty backfield, so the run's out of play. Locke takes the snap, looks right, comes back. Locke's may try to run with it. He's buying time. He's throwing. He's got a man, and he's in.
I think he got in.
I think he did. What a great
play. He did get in.
What a great play by Tyrone Tracy to get that second foot down.
Kid can play.
So the Giants take 6-0 lead here as we start the second quarter.
Well, Locke's mobility has definitely helped him out. I mean, he had the big run. I forgot who he was playing against. If it was Dallas or who it was, but off his back foot. And look at a hell of a tap, the toe tap here. 1, 2. Absolutely great concentration by Tyrone
Tracy. How many running backs in the NFL would have the wherewithal to shift their feet?
Well, remember, he was a wide receiver, though, in college. So it helps,
They need to use him more in the passing game.
I think so.
Snap, hold, kick is good. Giants lead 7-0.
Yeah. Wow, we actually lead a game. I don't believe it.
First time since World War II, the Giants lead.
It seems that way.
Unbelievable.
It seems that way.
And Hot Nichols, man, thank you for being a member. Says, just want to say thank you to both you guys. Merry Christmas to everyone. Football gods, please bless us in the draft and moving forward. Yeah, please.
Yeah.
And a happy Merry Christmas to you, man. Thank you for being here.
We're dominating this game.
Tyrone Tracy.
How did the Falcons win 7 games?
I don't know.
Yeah, my God. I mean, you're getting your shit.
They looked horrible last week, too. They barely beat, I think it was the Raiders. They barely beat.
Yeah, it was like 15-9 or something.
Yeah.
They're a terrible team.
They're not good.
Good Lord.
They're not good.
I have no idea how the hell this team won 7 games. I mean, the Giants literally just dominated. The Giants offense literally just went down on an 8.5-minute drive and dominated.
Tyrone Tracy better be a lot more involved in the passing game next year.
I agree.
He's a weapon in the passing. He could be like an Alvin Kamara.
I agree.
And Sean says, Giants clearly playing for Archie Manning. I don't know about all that. You could still draft a quarterback this year, and if the team sucks in 2 years, draft Archie Manning. So
yeah,
I don't know about that. Kicks away, because I don't think Archie's coming out in 20.
I don't think Archie's coming out next year either.
Yeah. Falcons will take the knee. They'll start with it at the 30. And Jamil says, this team makes me sick. They better not win. Well, I hope you got some Dimetap or whatever medicine you need.
All right, Pepto-Bismol, some Tums.
Because it doesn't look good right now if you're rooting for the Giants to lose.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But it's early. We all know the Giants are the Giants.
It's true. It's true.
I mean, if the Falcons had any brains, they would just give the ball to Robinson over and over again. We can't stop.
I agree. I mean, you want to see Penix, but
play action. Penix looking downfield, throwing. Nice throw there by Penix across midfield to the Giants 49 as he hits Mooney.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, listen, there's no question about Penix's arm strength. I mean, the guy can sling it without question. But like I said, the one thing Penix can do is sometimes with that mechanics, they'll kind of sidearms and the ball can sail on him. But if he has time, he's pretty damn good.
The zip on his throws is eye-popping. He definitely has a lot of velocity on his ball. Here's Penix. Out of the pistol, man in motion. He'll take the snap. He's going to turn and give to Robinson. Robinson bounces off 2 tacklers, and he gets 3. It'll bring up second and 7. And Brian,
5 on there, 4. He did a good job of breaking tackles there.
Brian, man, thank you so much, man, for all your support. You always show to Bad Dog and myself. Thank you for always being in the streams. Appreciate you. Hope you have a happy holiday. Yes. And he says, Giants leading? Bring everyone back. Happy holidays, Jen. From CC and me. Thank you.
Or captioning and me. Brian, you're the man, bro.
We appreciate it, Brian, man. Thank you so much for being here, and happy holiday to you. And, yeah, I can't believe – take a picture because it ain't going to be long because the Falcons are already driving at the Giants 45. Here's Penix. Penix takes the snap, goes back to – this time it's the backup running back. He had nowhere to go. And they'll
back. Boogie Basham making a play.
So 3rd and 7. Giants may get off the field again.
They might.
13:26 to go.
Wow, this is crazy, man. I'm surprised Tyler Algier has not been out there more. But, I mean, for the backup, they've used McLeod. But, well, let's see what they do here. I wonder if the Giants, they don't Bowen doesn't like the blitz. But, I mean, you got a rookie quarterback.
Against the rookie. There. Yeah, I would turn up the heat a little bit.
Yep. Looks like they're going to go the
Giants show blitz. We'll see if they bring it. They do not. Oh, yeah, they do. They send a blitz with the rookie Phillips as he throws and hits London over the middle up to the 35 and a first down for the Falcons.
The one thing I've always loved about Penix is he doesn't panic. Like, you know, he will stand in that pocket and make the throws. Like he can run a little bit, but he's not your prototypical scrambler. Like he's not a Lamar Jackson. You know, he's not a Kyler Murray. He's not even really a Josh. Now, he's more like Aaron Rodgers. You know, Aaron Rodgers would only run when he has, like Pat Mahomes. I'm not saying that he throws like those guys, but that's when they want to make a throw first. But if they have to run, they can. And that's what Penix does.
So a good completion there by Penix as he threw right where the blitz was coming from. Man in motion. Out of the pistol. Penix fakes the screen, looking downfield. Now he comes back to his first option. Nowhere to go. Great job there. Andrew Phillips again.
He is good. That kid can play. It's a loss of 4, and he's just a great tackler. I mean, listen, people can get on Joe Shane, and I understand he missed on some, but this year, man, he did really good with these players.
Yeah.
Draft Neighbors looks like the real deal. Tracy, Phillips, Newman's been good. I mean,
he had a good draft.
And Theo Johnson looked like he was coming on before he got hurt, so he did have a good draft this year.
2nd and 14 here for Penix from the 40.
I'm with you, though, Chris. I don't know why they're not running more.
Takes the snap. Penix drops back. Penix, he's going to try and take off and run with it. Penix slides down. He'll gain 6.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. He will run when he has to, but he'd rather make the play from the pocket. The 3rd down and long here again. But I'm with you. I am very surprised that we haven't seen more Bijan Robinson.
Yeah, because, I mean, especially with the early success they were having, giving him the ball.
I didn't realize Kirk Cousins threw 16 picks this year.
Yeah, he was He had 4 straight weeks where he had a combined no touchdowns and 8 interceptions.
Oh shit, that's like Daniel Jones territory.
Yeah, he was bad down the stretch for them.
Pretty bad.
So it'll be 3rd and 9 here for the Falcons at the 34. Here's Penix, 3 wide. Giants again showing blitz. We'll see if they come with it. They do. It's an all-out blitz. Penix drops back, throws, and I think that hit the turf. And it did.
It did.
So I think
the Giants' pressure got there, and Penix just couldn't put enough on the throw.
Yeah, it
hit the turf.
So the Falcons will attempt a long field goal.
Mustow got in there, right? That's a 6th-round rookie.
Yeah. Yeah, hit and you figured going against Penix, like you said earlier, you would think they'd blitz a lot because it's a rookie.
How long is this one?
It's got to be at least 50, 52.
52. He missed from 43. I'd be punting, honestly.
Snap, hold, kick. That's good. So the Falcons make it a 4-point game, 7-3.
All right. I'm actually not going to the bathroom. I'm just going to check my heat in the bathroom.
You check the heat.
Not pottying. I'll just be right back.
And Meat, thank you so much. Just happy holidays, guys. Can't wait for the draft to see another viral moment from you lads. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to you all. Appreciate it, man. And I mean, hopefully we're happy, but yeah, hopefully we're joyous on draft night with the pick. I mean, at the end of the day, if they go quarterback in this draft, I think we're all going to expect it, but we'll see what happens. Hopefully it's not a bad viral moment. Let's see. And Rio says diarrhea. Well, I hope you get that cleaned up, man. Nobody likes diarrhea. Hope the Eagles lose. Yeah, I always hope the Eagles lose. Do the Giants have the number 1 pick so far? I mean, technically they have the number 1 pick, but when you look at the rest of the projected schedule, because it's based off strength of schedule for the tiebreaker, we have the 2nd pick because we play a much tougher strength of schedule the last 3 weeks than the Raiders do. So if we lose out and the Raiders lose out, the Raiders more than likely have the 1st pick. So however you want to look at it. And Marjorie says, Jalen Hurts in the locker room after possible concussion. Pickett comes in and throws a touchdown. Wow. More than likely he'll be ready to go before the playoffs. Still got another 2 games after this, but not good for the Eagles. Oh, Bad Dog, not you. I thought you said you had the Hershey squirts. My apologies, Rio. Stan from Westport says, Giants can think about trading their pick to the Vikings for McCarthy if they think McCarthy is a better prospect than Shedeur or Cam Ward. I think it was Marshall from his YouTube channel post that on Twitter. That makes no sense to me. None. Like, right. Why in the world? And I guess if Joe Schoen wasn't the GM, it's a possibility. But if Joe Schoen remains on as the GM, why in the world?
Right. Well, you passed that on 1 year. Why would you
trade the 1st or 2nd pick?
Coming off an ACL injury. Chris.
Even if he thought McCarthy was the better quarterback prospect, even if that was the case, he would never admit it. He would look like a fool if he passed on him with the 6th overall pick and then traded the 1st or 2nd pick in this year's draft for a quarterback.
Coming off an ACL
injury and with 1 less year of rookie eligibility.
Right.
It would never happen.
No.
Never.
2nd round pick, maybe.
Yeah. And good to see you, Ray, man. Hope you're doing well. Merry Christmas to you, man. But you wouldn't even need to give up a 1st round pick to get him. 2nd round pick probably gets him, like you said.
Yeah, different story. I mean, I get on board with that, but not the 1st.
Falcons set to kick it away. And the Giants will let that go out of the end zone. They'll start with it at the 30, and we'll see how Locke does here. Build a team around KT, AT, D-line, Brian Burns, DB, and the 24 draft. I agree. I mean, there's definitely some pieces on this team. I mean, unfortunately, we're probably not that close.
Don't forget about TT, Tyrone Tracy.
Yeah, Tyrone for sure, Tyrone Tracy. Yeah. There's some building blocks here, but you get the quarterback. Things transpire quickly, but you got to hit on the quarterback.
Yeah, without question.
Giants coming out of the gun from the 30. He's got motor to his left. They're going to motion Neighbors. Takes the snap, drops back, looking Neighbors' way. He'll throw to Neighbors. He just missed. My God.
Whoa. That ball looked like it had helium in it.
Locke was wide open. I'm sorry. Neighbors was wide open. Locke
wasn't good.
That's why Drew Lock is a clipboard holder most seasons.
Yeah.
You just saw it there on full display.
Yep. Just shows you how hard it is, man. Not that he was a first-round pick, but just go through so many quarterbacks where you find the right one.
And that's a full start on Evan Neal.
All right, well, there we go. I was waiting for that. We had a penalty all day.
There you go, Evan. Back to your normal self. 2nd and 15.
He did have a good block, and that one was a good pancake block.
And Bodo, he says, if I was the Falcons, I would put security around Penix to keep Kirk Cousins away from him so there won't be any contamination.
Yeah.
Cousins has been bad this year for them. Bad.
Definitely. I didn't realize he was that bad. I know they've been losing games, and I mean, I obviously don't watch the Falcons.
Well, he started off okay, but the last 5 games he was bad. Man in motion. It's going to be an empty backfield here for Locke from his own 25. Locke drops back, throws. That one's caught by Hyatt.
Hey, Jalen Hyatt. Hey.
So that very similar pattern to the throw in which he missed Neighbors. So it'll be 3rd and 6 as Jalen Hyatt makes his first catch since World War II.
Hey, listen, if you have Drew Lock in your fantasy team today, number one, you're scraping the bottom of the barrel, but he's actually done pretty well. Look at Tommy DeVito. I swear to God, dude, I work out. Well, I don't work out. The guy goes to my gym looks just like freaking Tommy DeVito.
Really? Man in motion.
Like, I got to get a picture with you just so I can say, look at, I know Tommy DeVito. He looks just like him. Swear to God.
Trips
same age and everything. It's great. It's insane.
Trips to the left for Locke. He's got a man. It's Neighbors. Neighbors with a running head start all the way up to the 50.
It's Wandale.
Oh, Wandale.
Yeah, Wandale. But Chris, this is what you wonder, like, where the hell has this been all year? Like, this is what we thought Wandale Robinson could do, is work underneath in a slot and get those yards after catch. Like, where the hell has that been all season? It just looks so easy today for this offense, which every week it's like we're pulling teeth trying to get 3 points.
Yeah, and the go route it almost worked as a pick in a way. The go route by Neighbors kind of interfered with the guy that was covering Wandale to be able to follow him. So good play design there by Dable there. Shotgun formation here for Locke. He didn't
get it off in time.
Yeah, he didn't get it off. What is he crying about? It said 0 seconds.
Yeah. Wow, Dable is heated.
Dable is pissed on the sideline. Looks like
I don't know whose fault that was.
He's mad at somebody.
Yeah, he is.
So it'll be 1st and 15 after the penalty as we approach the 9-minute mark.
Well, we got a 1st and 15 last time. John's like, maybe we should get backed up again. Maybe we need a holding penalty here. It'd be 1st and 25.
Shotgun. Takes the snap. Locke drops back. Pump fake. He's going to bring it back down. Still looking downfield. And did he catch that?
Wow.
Wow.
I'll be honest, I can't believe Drew Lock didn't run.
Yeah, I thought he was going to run too. Wandale Robinson makes a really good catch on the sideline for about 7 yards.
I don't know who this is on. I don't know who he's pissed at. I don't know. I don't know who he was mad at there. I know Drew Lock looked like he was mad too, so who the hell knows?
So 2nd and 7 is Wandale makes a great catch on the sideline.
That's his 4th catch already.
Man in motion, Neighbors. They just get the snap off.
He had Neighbors.
And that's going to be a pick 6.
That was telegraphed.
That's going to be a pick 6.
That's bait. Yep. I mean, he telegraphed that. Oh, there's a flag.
There's a flag on the play.
I think it's holding on the Giants anyway. But
yeah, because they blitz.
Doing the icky shuffle.
So there you go. You knew it was coming.
Another touchdown pass by Drew Lock. Just wanted the wrong team. Let's see what the thing is. I think it's on the Giants.
Yep. Motion.
Yep. Oh, illegal shift. Well, we haven't had a million of those this year. Dude, how can you have illegal shift 30 times in a year? Like, literally, our guys are never set.
Let's see.
Now, he has Neighbors immediately out in the flat.
Yeah, he was not set at all.
Neighbors is wide open, and then he just telegraphed it.
He had to snap it, though, because the play clock was
yes,
down
he did.
1.
But he had Neighbors out wide immediately, and he just stared down.
Snap, hold, kick is good.
That's a giant.
The Falcons take a 3-point lead.
That's even better than a holding penalty.
So there you go. Giants still doing their job if you're rooting for that draft pick.
Yeah, Drew Lock with a couple of touchdowns today. One to us, one to them. 10-7 Falcons.
How does that happen? You get a delay a game penalty, and then on the very next play, you were going to get another one.
We do it all the time. I don't understand. Every other team gets up. We don't get out of the huddle quick enough or something. I don't know what it is, man.
Because that's what caused that motion penalty, because Neighbors clearly wasn't done with his motion. So he had to snap it because he had 1 second on the play clock because he was going to
Carolina. Oh, sorry, Chris.
It's horrible. It's just awful.
Carolina's up 13-3 on Arizona. I mean, that's a game of interest for us. Bryce Young's got 3 carries, 62 yards, and a touchdown in that one. Eagles up on the Commanders 21-7. That Eagles are rolling right now. Jets and Rams tied at 6 apiece. I'm guessing both teams scored a touchdown and both teams
went for 2.
Missed. Yeah, I'm guessing they both missed extra points.
Yeah.
Let's see what else we got here.
The most important game is at 4.
You're right. The Tennessee and Indianapolis are tied at 7. Detroit is destroying Chicago.
What's the score there?
After what happened on Thanksgiving, it's 20-0. They just started.
I got Gibbs on my team. How's Gibbs doing in that game?
63 yards and a touchdown.
Like
on the ground. Jameson Williams, Jahmyr Gibbs also has a 23-yard catch.
Okay.
And then Goff is 8 for 11, 181 and a touchdown. Insane.
And Brian, man, thank you so much again, man. He says Giants losing, fire everyone.
It's a laugh emoji, of course.
Yeah, it goes from they're probably coming back. Now they're losing, fire everybody.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
The narrative changes. And Adam says Saquon is going to break the record.
Yeah, he's got 7 catches, 7 carries, 109, and 2 touchdowns today.
Oh, my God. What did he have coming into I know he didn't have a great game last week. I think he's just over 1,700 coming into this game.
So does it count today? Yeah, he'd be at 1,800 if that was the case.
So he's going to have a shot. If he rushes, if he rushes for 200 yards today, he's definitely going to have a shot. Now, granted, everybody will say he did it in 17 instead of 16, but still.
Yeah, but I don't even look at that. I look at the
carries.
The carries. I think that's what's important. Like when people say, OJ did the 2,000 yards in 14 games. I'm like, yeah, but he had more carries than Barry Sanders did the year Barry Sanders had the 2,000 yards. So, I think Dickerson had a lot of carries that year. Yeah,
I think that when it comes to that specific record, I agree. I think the carries are more important. It's like at bats in baseball. You may have less at bats, but you play more game, so I agree. It's
I have no question Dickerson had way more because Barkley's averaging 6 yards a carry. So Dickerson that year averaged 5.6. So we had 379 attempts that year. Barkley's on pace for 346.
So it's if he breaks it, it's going to be legitimate.
Correct. Which at this juncture, I think he will. I think the Eagles just hand him the freaking ball until he breaks it at this point.
Especially against us to embarrass us last week.
Yeah, that's fine. Who cares?
Yeah, I don't care, but they will do it. Tracy, there's Tracy off the right side. He got back to the line. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Yeah. Well, I hate to say it, but holy shit, Philadelphia is rolling, man. Is Jalen Hurts hurt?
He is. Somebody in the chat, he's got I think a concussion.
Yeah, I just see 1 for 4 for 11 yards. Why the hell didn't that happen last week? I played Jalen Hurts last week. So, yeah, they're definitely going to have a heavy freaking dose of Barkley if Kenny Pickett's in there.
2nd and 9, they're going to motion Neighbors. They'll fake it to Tracy. They throw out to Neighbors. Wandell with an unbelievable block as Neighbors got 10 yards. I love seeing Wandell, the smallest guy in the field, with a pancake block to set up that run for Malik Neighbors. I
have to be honest. I thought that was going to go for much bigger yards. He looked like there was when when Wandale sealed off that block, look, he had so much room out there.
That's the highlight to that play for me. So the Giants get a first down, 6:48 to go here in the second. From the 41, they're going to motion Neighbors again, left to right. He'll take the snap. He's going to give to Tracy. Tracy cuts it up the middle. He got 2. And how many illegal shifts this year? It feels like at least 1 or 2 a game. It feels like an absorbent amount.
Yeah, it's just something. It just doesn't make any sense. It's just fundamentals. Get set, you know.
But Giants, again, off to a promising start on this drive. They're getting close to being in a position where they'll at least be able to tie it.
Yeah.
Right around midfield, it'll be 2nd and 7. Lock out of the gun. Tracy to his left. 3 wide. He's going to motion Wandale. Takes the snap. They fake the handoff to Wandale. Lock steps up, and he goes down back at the 40. So the Giants will have a 3rd and long.
And I think Evan Neal got beat on that one.
And Adam says, Philly will hand him the ball, and it'll be against the – yeah, it's going to happen.
Again, I don't even give a shit.
I don't care. He wouldn't have done it here. So
I know. People want to make a big deal about that. Let him. I honestly don't. It doesn't matter to me. I don't care what he does, man. It is what it is. He's on a great team. He's been healthy this year, and the guy's really good. I mean, he's in a good situation. Not only is he a great running back, he's in a great situation.
3rd and 11 from the 40. Lock drops back, throws, and oh my God. Some of these throws today by Lock have been awful.
What in the hell? Where was that going?
So 4th and 11 as he throws it about, 8-10 yards above Malik Neighbors' head.
He thought Malik Neighbors was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar there for a second and airmailed one.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar wouldn't have been able to catch that on stilts.
I mean, he did sail out.
Giants set to punt it away.
Let's see what Gillen does here.
And the punt's away by Gillen. And he does a good job again as they go up for a fair catch at about the 13.
Well, the Falcons haven't really had a good drive on offense. Yeah, I guess they have had a couple. Missed a field goal, made a field goal.
And Ian says, why wouldn't we want to draft Travis Hunter since he fills 2 needs and Justin Fields, Jameis Winston, Sam Darnold on a cheap deal? Well, one, he's not going to, I don't think he's going to be a full-time 2-way player in the NFL.
I don't either.
I would expect him to be, if I had to guess, probably a full-time corner and like a wide receiver 4 who plays in certain.
You think so? I think it'd be the other way around.
You think it'd be the other way around? A guy that comes in on clear passing downs on defense.
Yeah, but who knows? I guess it depends on who drafts him. You know?
Yeah, it could be. But I don't think
whatever a team's bigger need is, Chris, or whatever they feel he's better at, I think he'll do. But yeah, he won't be playing every snap on each side of the ball. I agree.
No way.
Yeah.
And I mean, the simple answer to your question, Ian, is the quarterback's the more important position.
And Darnold's not going to be cheap.
Yeah, no, we're not getting Darnold.
Darnold's not going to be cheap.
Darnold's going to cost at least $45 million a year.
Yeah, Darnold's going to get paid by somebody. Somebody's going to give him 4 years, $180 million, like a Kirk Cousins type.
Yeah, look at what Baker Mayfield got. He got like $40 million a year for 1 year.
Darnold's getting paid. Winston's going to be cheaper. Justin Fields will be cheaper, but it's just. I think if you're Joe Shane and you pass on a quarterback and you're done. And I think you still can, I mean, if T did draft Cameron Ward and Cameron Ward was really bad, I think that and I don't even think that'll happen because I think that you're going to get a Jameis Winston. You're going to draft the Cameron Ward. Winston's going to play the first 8 to 10 games. And then you probably, kind of like the Falcons did here. So you're not going to get a full look at the rookie, and it'd be hard to say to Joe Shane, all right, get out of here.
Oh, that's what he's going to do.
So it gives him longevity. I guess if there's a new GM, that's a possibility. I mean, who knows? There could be a new GM that's like, I don't like the quarterbacks. I'm going to take Travis Hunter
or trade down.
Correct.
I honestly think it's more likely you trade down than take Travis Hunter if you don't take a quarterback.
Right.
The thing is, does a team want a quarterback that much that they trade up, I guess? Is it that, is it viewed as that strong of a quarterback class? That's a major question. But I don't really see a scenario where we take Travis Hunter. I think it's quarterback. unless we trade down, if we have a new GM.
Yep. And the Commanders had it at the 10, and they fumble. So the Eagles get the ball back there.
So the Falcons have the ball here. 5:09 to go here in the second. 1st and 10 from the 14. Pistol formation. We'll see if they get back to Robinson here as they motion McLeod. They're going to throw it with Penix as he hits his man in stride. It's Mooney. Mooney spins out of a tackle up to the 30. A big gain there on first down for about 17.
Yeah, lefty, man, they roll the opposite way. You're not usually used to that. But again, I just love the way Penix just delivers the ball in stride. I mean, he's sailed a couple, no question. Look at this. This must be the Williams, right?
Jared Goff for about 85 yards. Talk about a guy that turned around his career.
Yeah. And I remember when that trade happened, like, what are the Lions doing?
Yeah. Well, I thought it was a salary dump to get extra draft picks, but it turned out that Goff ended up being, I mean, it worked out for both teams, obviously.
Yes, because the Rams won a championship.
Yeah, but Goff has worked out well there. Hand off to Robinson, he gets 2. Thomas says, if we want a stopgap quarterback, there's a guy in the Vikings practice squad named Daniel Jones. Some people call him Danny Dime. Should be cheap. If he was never a Giant, he may make sense, but no.
Right.
Not after what transpired, obviously.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah.
Why not?
2nd and 8. Here's Penix. Robinson to his left. He'll take the snap, drops back.
He's dead.
And pressure by the Giants. Did Penix
What a job, dude, by Michael Penix. Get rid of Muasau had him dead to rights. He came off the edge. Nobody picked him off. And I have no idea how Penix got rid of the ball.
Penix is able to get rid of it, take the incomplete pass rather than lose an extra 5 yards.
It's just a heads-up play.
And you got to be pretty damn strong, too.
Yeah, and he's not a huge guy.
He did get it off.
Hey, wow. I mean, it's just a smart play.
Yeah, it's a heads-up play for a rookie. 3rd and 8.
That's what worried me about the Giants taking him was that blind side being Evan Neal.
And Penix just gets the snap off. He drops back. He launches it. And good coverage.
Flag, right?
And they throw the flag.
He definitely grabbed him.
He did.
Definitely grabbed him.
He had his left hand on him.
He definitely grabbed him. Pulled him back. There's no doubt about that one. He had good coverage too, Chris. I don't think he needed to do it, honestly. Was it illegal contact or was it pass interference? Because obviously it makes a difference in the yardage.
Yeah, he hooked him.
Pass interference. I don't think he needed to do it. I don't think that Drake London saw the ball. It's really good coverage. I don't think he needed to do that, Chris.
Yeah. Pass interference. That's gonna be like a 30-yard gain.
30 yards. I'm honest. He didn't need to do it. He had good coverage. But, he's like
that's the thing that's both encouraging and discouraging about Banks. His coverage for the most part is
he doesn't know how to locate the ball though. That's his major issue. Yep.
And here's Penix. Man in motion is Bijan Robinson. Penix out of the gun from the 39. He's going to turn and give to Algier, and the Giants do a good job stuffing it up. He got 2.
Chris, I'm with you. I don't understand the Falcons not giving the ball to Bijan Robinson. He's obviously run the ball effectively today, and
they've gotten away from it. Yeah. They couldn't stop him on that first drive.
No, they couldn't.
It's been weird. So 2nd and 8 here for the Falcons.
Kirk Cousins will end up somewhere next year. Be interesting to see where.
And Penix takes the snap. They go back to Algier, and he'll get maybe 2.
Bring us to a 2-minute warning.
Good gang tackle there by the Giants. 3rd and 6.
Mm-hmm.
Second most in the NFL. 150 starts since 2015. Only Derek Carr with more.
Man, his agent deserves to be in the Hall of Fame.
Oh God, you
talk about a guy that play. I thought they'd have to hit the 2-minute warning first. So Giants to get the ball to start the second half, so it's a big play for the Falcons.
3rd and 6. Penix out of the gun. Man in motion's Mooney. Penix will take the snap. Giants come with 5. Penix throws a bullet over the middle to Mooney up to the 16.
Yeah, I mean, what a he just zips the ball in there, and again, it's just he leads the receiver perfectly. I mean, it's pretty easy. It's wide open.
It was wide open.
But that was a pretty damn good throw. I mean, he just zips it, man. Just a tight spiral right there.
So 2 minutes to go here in the second quarter as they go to
the obviously, you would think the Falcons could run out the clock here unless the Giants use their timeouts. So I would imagine down here you're going to run a couple times.
And let's see. Yeah, people are talking about the 15. They should change it to the college penalty. I'm not against that personally, making the
I agree. I think it's a 40, 50-yard penalty. I mean, that's just insane.
Yeah.
But then again, I think in the NFL, if that's the case, you're just gonna if you're getting beat for a deep pass,
you wouldn't see big.
You're gonna do it on purpose.
Yeah.
So I can see both sides of it. I mean, if you're getting beat and you're down the field 40 yards, it's like, well, it's gonna cost my team 15 or a touchdown. Let me just grab the guy and throw him down on the ground. So
that's probably why they do it, because they don't want to see no big plays in the NFL. Because like you said, teams would just gladly give up the 15 yards.
Yep. Yeah, they're getting beat deep down the sideline, and you're like, screw it.
Yeah.
Eagles punted away there. What else is going on here? The Jets and Rams still tied at 6. Carolina beating Arizona 20-10. Cincinnati up on Cleveland 14-0. My guy Dashy's having a good weekend as Ohio State Buckeyes kick some ass, and the Bengals taking care of business.
Yeah.
I didn't realize the Bengals were as bad as they were. I didn't realize they were 6-8. I thought they were a little better than I knew when they weren't good. Tennessee's losing 14-7. Chicago is still down 20-0 in that one.
And Cousins, the worst quarterback signing since Jones. I mean, there's a lot of bad quarterback signings. The Trevor Lawrence quarterback signing looks awful right now.
Dak's not looking very good now.
The Dak signing is looking awful right now. There's if we're being honest, most quarterback signings don't work out. They don't. I mean, there's a handful that do, obviously the best ones, but most of them don't work out. Tua's contract looks awful right now.
Yep. True. It's true. They're not looking. A lot of them aren't looking good. Well, see what happens.
And Talk with Joe says this Giants team might be the worst in history. And once again, we have to draft a quarterback in a bad class. Same song, same dance. I
don't think it's as bad as the 2022 class was. I definitely don't think so. I think Sanders and Ward are by far better than anybody in that class.
And I think it's better. It's probably better.
It's not as good as last year's, no question.
It's probably better than the Daniel Jones class also.
Yeah.
Kyler Murray was good, but outside of that, it was a thin class.
Right.
Penix is going to turn. He's going to pitch to Robinson. Robinson up the middle. He'll pick up 9. And I don't, like we've been saying.
Call a timeout.
Like we've been saying, I don't know why they've gotten away from Robinson.
I don't either.
Picks up another 9 yards at will.
Yeah, it's weird that they would.
He does.
Look at the way he scans the field, Chris. You see the way he freaking looked off the safety. See the way he goes through. This is shit Daniel Jones never did.
And he does throw a beautiful ball, man.
Just the way he just looked off the safety and came back. I mean, he need time to do that, too. Don't get me wrong. And our offensive line sucks, but you never saw Daniel Jones scan like that. You just watch his eyes.
2nd and 1. Pistol formation here for Penix. From the 7.
I'd hand it off again.
I would. And they will to Robinson. Robinson gets the first down. He gets 2. So they get up to almost a 4.
The Giants. Chris, I mean, I love Michael Penix, and I would like to see him throw a touchdown, but
on the ball.
You know what? If you're Falcons, you run the freaking ball. Run it 3 times.
You force the Giants to use their last time
out.
And
they're not stopping Bijan down here.
Yeah.
Don't do anything stupid. The guy is a rookie, but I would just run the ball.
So it'll be first to goal here from the 4s. The Falcons lead by 3, looking to take a 2-possession lead here into the half. So if you're rooting for the tank, you're looking good.
Yep.
Which I would say 90% of Giants fans are at this point. Maybe more.
So this is a big game for the Falcons. I mean, if Tampa Bay should win tonight, but you never know. You never know what Dallas
is playing. Tampa.
Dallas
should, but like you said, you never know.
You never know.
It's not like Tampa's great,
right?
And here we go, pistol formation here for Penix.
Oh, they don't play Tampa Bay again. I thought they did.
And they're going to go to Bijan. Look at this guy, man. Bounce.
Yeah, he's a beast, bro. The Falcons do not play. I take that back. The Falcons do not play the Bucs again.
So who do they play? It's always in your division. Who do they play the last week? The Saints?
The Panthers.
Panthers.
Yeah, the Commanders next week. That'll be an interesting game.
Interesting. Yeah, I would
say the Falcons own the tiebreak with the Bucs, though. They swept them. So obviously this is a huge game for them.
Yeah.
Because if they end up with the same record, the Falcons win the division. That's smart, though. I would just give the ball to Bijan, too. I mean, why would you even screw around down there?
Snap, hold, kick. Good. Falcons lead 17-7, $1:43 to go here in the second quarter.
Mm-hmm. I think the Giants are going to get a field goal in this drive.
You think so?
Yeah, I mean, listen, outside of the pick six, and they moved the ball pretty well.
They have.
I really like Bijan Robinson, man. He's freaking good.
One of the best.
I'm thinking me and my buddy, we're probably going to pick 9th or 8th out of 12. That might be our first round pick.
If he lasts that long.
I'm thinking, I think he will. I think
two-quarterback league.
Quarterbacks go quick. Lamar Jackson will go. Mahomes will go.
Josh Allen.
Mm-hmm. Barkley's going to go probably number 1 overall. So that brings us to about 5th. So
Neighbors will probably be a first-round pick next year if they get a quarterback.
I forgot where Neighbors went in this draft. I mean, you can have keepers. We have keepers. So I forgot what round he went in. That he might be a keeper. He might be off the board. You have to give up. If you draft the Neighbors in the 4th round, you have to give up a 2nd-round pick the next year to keep them. I'm trying to think.
Justin Jefferson's always popular. Christian
Jefferson went 5th overall. Yep, he can be there. I think Robinson could last till 8th. And then I think we would take a quarterback. I think we'd take a quarterback on the way back. Joe Burrow will probably go early.
Mahomes, even though he's not having a good year,
Mahomes won't go 1st or 2nd. I think he'll go
first round.
He'll go top 8, I think. I'm trying to think of on the swing back. If we went Bijan, I wanted to take in the snake round in the 2nd round, but he's going to kept his Brock Bowers. I'm like, I would definitely take him in the 2nd round. Brock Bowers is a freaking beast.
He's killing it this year.
I'm trying to think. If we did Bijan on the way back, you could get
Jalen Hurts. Quarterback on the way back.
You probably could get Jalen Hurts on the way back.
I would hate doing that.
I would too, but maybe it ruins him.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think who else.
Derrick Henry. Somebody said, Derrick Henry's an option, even though you worry about his age a little bit.
Yeah, I don't think Derrick Henry would go before Bijan. I'd be surprised. Barkley's definitely going to be 1. Then Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen. Justin Jefferson might be.
CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah, Lamb. Yeah, now I got to pay. So it's number 2.
That's 2 for Bad Dog. And Andrew, man, thank you so much for the $5 donation. Appreciate it, man. Pure Pesos is Daniel Jones number 1. Maybe in the XFL fantasy draft, if you do that, if he decides to partake in that league, he probably would be the first pick. I don't know if they do fantasy leagues in the XFL, though. I'll have to take a look, or the UFL. So here we go. Giants trail by 10, minute 43 to go here in the second, as they'll have a chance to score some points before the end of the half. Kicks away. Giants will field this at the 4. They'll take it out there to the 15, to the 20, to the 25, to the 30. Big return here for Eric Gray up to the 41 of Atlanta. And Ronald, man, thank you very much, man. I hope we lose by 1 each week. Makes the game watchable. Who the hell is this, and what kind of outfit is that on the sideline? What the hell was that? Minute 35 to go here in the second. Well, Ronald, I have a feeling we're going to lose by more than 1, but we'll see. Maybe the Giants can keep it competitive. Shotgun formation here for lock. Neighbors in motion right to left. Lock will take the snap, drops back, looks left, and he gets devoured. He fumbles the ball, and the Falcons,
I think the Falcons got it. There we go. Now we're driving the tank.
Giants football back at it as Evan Neal. I think that was Evan Neal. Let's see the replay. Let's see if it was Neal. No, actually, it was Van Rotten. It was a stunt.
Yep.
But, yeah, good stuff.
Good stuff. So we should be down 24-7 at the half now. I would take a shot at the end zone right now.
And Penix out of the pistol. They still have all 3 timeouts, so they could run, and they do. Bijan gets 2. No need to use the timeout. You're so close.
Plenty of time for the Falcons.
Well, we might be talking movies in the fourth quarter, guys. Minute
yeah,
away.
You never know.
And we got a injury timeout here for the Giants. It's McFadden. They're just going to tell him take the rest of the year off.
Yep, take the rest of the year off, kid.
And Thomas says, I think Dable was reading the 2023 script for the first quarter, then found the 2024 script because now that is the 24 Giants I know. Yeah, it sounds about right. Or the 2022 script you meant, Thomas, because 23 was a disaster too. Well, we did flip down the stretch.
The Washington just scored a touchdown. 32-yard pass to Terry McLaurin. He had a great year for me this year.
They're still losing by a lot, though, right?
21-14.
Oh, they're still
in again without Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, they're in that game.
Kenny Pickett is 5 out of 7 for 70 yards. I mean, he does have a pick, but it just goes to show you he's not as good as Jalen Hurts. I'm not saying that, but they're so good. I think they can still win with Kenny Pickett.
Penix is going to turn. He's going to pitch, and Bijan's got nowhere to go. Good job there by Muasau, the rookie, was first on the scene. It'll be 3rd and 9. They lose 2.
Yeah, the Falcons aren't going to do anything stupid here. They're in field goal territory. I would imagine they'll take this down to about 20 seconds and pass. And then you kick the field goal and go into the half. So a lot of guys there. Chapman in there.
And that's exactly what they're doing because they're like tick all the way down.
Yeah.
And they call a timeout at 28 seconds. So
So I mean, that's plenty of time. If you can complete a pass, you can complete a pass anywhere in the field with 2 timeouts. So you make the first down, you get up, you take a timeout, and you have plenty of time. Try to get to the end zone.
Good clock management there by Raheem Morris. Actually, good job. Kenneth says, "Trade everyone, trade down. We need everything." I don't think they're going to do that, but I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah,
I think they're taking a quarterback.
I do too. Pinion on the sideline. His first name is Racken. Racken Pinions.
Looks like it, Peso. I think Barkley is going to break the record.
Yep.
So 30 seconds left. Still plenty of time if you get the first down because they got 2 timeouts in their pocket. Giants showing blitz. And they drop back. Penix drops back. Throws. He's got a man out of bounds. Stops
Mooney
the clock.
Mooney's killing us today.
Down to the 15. And everything's still in play because they got 2 timeouts.
Yeah.
They can still run the ball.
Yep. Just look at Penix throws that ball before he's out of his break. I mean,
he's a great thrower of the football.
I just make it I want us to have a quarterback like that can just do that stuff.
So Penix out of the pistol. from the 15. He's going to motion McLeod, and they will run it with Robinson. Robinson wrapped up in the backfield. Kayvon there. Burns, I should say there. They lose 2. It'll be 2nd and 12, and they have to burn their second timeout.
They must have put more time on the clock because
they added 2 seconds.
I was going to say that only took 3 seconds there.
Yeah, they bumped it up to 30 before the last play. And Cutler, man, thank you so much, man. Hope you have a happy holiday. Thank you for the $2 donation. So now they got to throw, obviously.
Yeah.
There's only 1 timeout left. Maybe you could save it down at the goal line, but you got to throw here.
Yeah.
Penix has looked good for the most part.
He has looked good. Couple of errant throws, couple of drops. Hurt him.
So from the 17, Penix out of the gun. And they will throw. Penix looks right, throws right, caught. London down to the 7. He's tackled there. They're going to have to use their last timeout.
Yep.
So 15 seconds left.
And that's fine because you can take a shot of the end zone here. And if you don't get it, you obviously kick the field goal.
Yeah.
You probably should have went to the sideline instead of turning back inside there.
Yeah, he should have.
He should have, so.
3rd and 5 or 3rd and 2 is not much of a difference.
Right. Exactly.
You're not running.
Yeah, he got an extra 2 yards. So it really.
So 16 seconds. They'd still have enough time if they got the first to spike it, but at that point, You're just settling for a field goal.
Yeah. Yeah, depending on how fast they got the first down. Like if you could spike it with 10 seconds, you'd have at least 1 shot at the end zone.
Yeah. But I think this is either a throw, maybe like a fade.
Sideline, right, yeah.
Like a fade or maybe a throw on the sideline where they could get out of bounds. But
like we've seen that, a quick 3-yard out here. It's 3rd and 2, so
16 seconds to go. Here's Penix from the 7. Takes the snap, looking, throwing, caught. He dropped it, and it's picked off. Cordell Flott comes up with it. Flott to the 50. He might do some damage here. No, he's put down at the 25. That'll take us to the half.
That just wasn't a good play call. And now we got some fighting going on here.
Whoa!
Wow, look at the Giants and Falcons. Who would have thought? That was interesting.
So it keeps the Giants in striking distance.
That's a bad play call. That isn't going to do anything. You're going to get tackled at the 3. You're not in the end zone. You're not going to get out of bounds.
It was either a bad play call or Penix threw it too quickly before the route developed.
Right.
Because maybe that route may have been designed for him to throw
Let's see. It's the Pitts. It's first target today. No, that ball was knocked out by Belton. I mean, Pitts caught that, and Belton knocked it out of his hands. But Pitts is going nowhere with this.
Yeah, it's a bad
route.
Yeah. Pitts
never held on to it. Like, the ball's there, and Flott in the tip drill gets the interception. But this is going nowhere. Like, it's just that's not a good play call down there. It's a 2-yard out.
And that would have been the half, even if he caught it, because it was
correct. It's not a smart play call.
So Giants are going to get 15 yards here, but only 5 seconds with no timeout. So they probably just take a knee. Yeah. They'll have it at the 40.
Well, just throw one into the end zone.
If Locke could even reach the end zone. I mean, that's 60 yards plus the drop back.
And applauding himself for the personal foul. I don't know what the hell is going on there.
I like to see the fight, though.
Yeah.
I like to see that the Giants still care a little bit.
A little bit.
So Giants will have it at the 40. Maybe they try
that guy pick up the flags. It's like my wife picking up my socks. My kids' socks.
And Cutler says, Bando, quit peeing when you come back. We mess up.
No, I got to keep peeing then. I'm going to keep peeing.
So Giants will have it at the 40.
And throw deep.
And Locke takes the snap. They're going to try. I don't know.
What in the living hell is the point? of that.
Even if you catch it again at a bounce, you gain 2 yards.
What are you doing?
So now 4 seconds left, 2nd and 10. Yeah, just launch this ball into the sun. Hope for a pass interference.
Right.
Maybe a hook and ladder. Something trick play. Yeah. And Locke will drop back, throws, and I don't get his feet down. Doesn't matter.
He's talking shit to Isaiah Simmons over there.
Nearly intercepted, and that'll bring us to the half, 17-7.
Wouldn't matter either way, but
another horrible throw.
Yeah.
And Jax, thank you for being a member. He says, this team is so bad. I get excited when they threw the pick six and fumbled the ball. God, this team. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they're bad.
And Ronald says, why play 10 yards off when you're near the goal line?
Arizona has cut that lead to 20-17.
Oh, Ronald, I'm assuming you're talking about the completed ball before the interception that Penix threw, right? Where they were able to get it up to about the 7-yard line.
Indianapolis is crushing Tennessee. Cleveland crushing Cleveland, or Cincinnati crushing Cleveland. The Jets beating the Rams 9-6.
And my answer to that, Ronald, if that's the play you're talking about, because I don't think you were talking about the play after when they got an interception. At that point, you're okay with them catching the ball as long as it's not in the end zone because you want the clock to run. And Barkley goes, was that the touchdown earlier?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Here's the McLaurin.
What a year he's having.
I know.
I mean, he's always been great. He just never had a quarterback.
Freaking sucks that I didn't get this week last week. I mean, McLaurin was great for me last week too, but the guy played at Jalen Hurts, and of course he had a huge game last week. He had this week, we would have killed the guy. Fantasy football is all about luck and timing. There's very little skill involved.
It's
very little, maybe 10%, but very little.
One thing I will always do in my fantasy leagues, I don't take it as serious as I used to when now I do it for fun with my brother, but I would always look at the playoff schedule. And when I had like a coin flip on which player I like more, I would look who had the softer week 15 and week 16 matchup, and I would make my decision based off that. Just because in the play that a lot of it comes down to that, like the strength of opponent in the playoffs.
Yep. Well, I thought for sure. I'm like, well, Philadelphia is playing Pittsburgh. I mean, they got a pretty good defense, but nope. Pittsburgh laid down and died.
Yeah, they did.
I mean, they just did. And I also knew that they would make a concerted effort just to throw the ball a million times because A.J. Brown said our passing game sucks. And it's just, that's what happened,
And Matt says, hate that we as a fan base, after being exposed to shit for so long, got used to being mediocre. Fans complaining about a playoff win because of draft position. Yeah, I'm not complaining about it.
2022 was the most fun I think Chris and I had.
Yeah, I'm not complaining about
since we started doing this.
I get what fans mean when they say that, because Joe Shane and the team was clearly anticipating being bad, which is why they didn't extend Jones on the 5th-year option before the year started, because I think they were anticipating drafting a quarterback. But there's no guarantees the quarterback would have worked out, and you don't know where we would have been picking anyway. But, so yeah, I agree. I'm happy we had that season. It was fun. Mm-hmm. It is what it is. The team probably still would have been in a similar position.
Yeah.
I mean, well, I guess their argument is it forced you to keep Jones and Barkley, but I mean,
actually, now that I'm thinking about it, Chris, thinking about this, I would have been facing the guy that has Saquon Barkley, so probably would have lost anyway.
There you go.
I mean, that's probably what would have happened. I probably would have lost anyway.
And Ronald says London threw 2 punches, no ejection. If those, I don't know if it was a punch or more of like a stiff arm under his throat, but if there were punches thrown, yeah, I think he is supposed to be ejected.
Guy also has Keenan Allen, who just got a 45-yard touchdown. I'm on with St. Brown. This guy is having a big freaking week.
I guess Ray needed Mooney last week. I've seen him say that a couple of times for fantasy. Yeah, he's doing well today.
Yeah.
And Marshall.
So I said it's a lot of luck. involved in that.
Oh, all gambling's a lot of luck.
A lot of luck.
Marshall, man, thank you so much, man, for being a member, man. Gifting 5 memberships, rather, man. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. And have a happy holiday. Beto says, could Gano get more than 5 points?
He needs a field goal, right?
He's got, yeah. Oh, he's got, what do we have? We got 10 right now, right? I don't even know. That's how much I care. No, we got 7. So, yeah, he would need, I don't know what your settings are in your fantasy league, but usually, at least in most leagues I've ever played in, it's, I don't know if you're talking about fantasy points or real life points, but but if you're talking about fantasy points, it's usually a point for every 10 yards. So like a 40-yard field goal is 4 points. So if that's what you're asking about, he's certainly capable of doing that.
Yeah. The other thing that hurt me last week was Joe Mixon didn't have a good game. Like Mixon was big for us all year, and he didn't have a good game. He only had 7 points. It fucking hurt, but I don't know. I mean, McLaurin is having a good game. We would have done well there. Mahomes had a pretty good game. Who was the other guy I was thinking about? Devontae Adams is a guy we have, but he's got 5 catches, 50 yards, and a touchdown. We might have actually won had we played this week. Devontae Adams had such a huge game for us. But that guy had Mike Evans last week. He had a freaking ridiculous game. Mike Evans hasn't done shit all year. Devontae Smith hadn't done shit all year. Like all the guys that were like not good for him had great games.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I'm doing a league this year. I prefer the standard method where there's playoffs. But my brother's neighbor asked me to join a league, and they do rotisserie, so that takes out the luck because it's based off your points for the year.
The thing, we had the most points.
But it kind of takes also away from the fun. I like the.
Yeah, no, I agree. We did. We had the most points in the league.
Yeah.
And we were second in the division because the one night Barkley ran for like 230 yards and whatever that was against the Rams. We lost by 6 points because Barkley had that huge game. If we win that week, we're actually had to bye. Yeah. And we would have been playing this week. But again, it just shit happens. It fantasy football, that is part of it.
And can someone give me something to be happy about today?
Yeah, we're going to have the quarterback.
Marshall said, got to give something to be happy about today. Oh, yeah, well, the Giants certainly aren't going to bring you happiness outside of preserving their draft pick.
Right.
And Cornelius in German just said, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you too, man. Where would you rank Sanders and Ward in last draft? All the best. I mean,
maybe 6th and 7th. Maybe ahead of Bo Nix, maybe. But I think behind the first 3 and Michael Penix. That's where I would rate them. Somewhere in there.
Definitely behind the top 3 for sure.
I think Penix is better than both.
I think they're at least comparable to that level. But yeah, I could certainly see the argument for Penix or even a McCarthy being above these guys. But I think
I haven't seen McCarthy, so I don't. But that's why I think Ward went back to school.
Because he knew that. Yeah, he could capitalize.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because he knew he was probably the 5th or 6th quarterback in last year's class. So, yeah. Last year's class was really good. That was a really good class.
Oh, it was one of the best, at least in terms of prospects. You never know how they're going to work out in the pros, but in terms of prospects, one of the best in a long time.
In terms of talent, yes, without question. I mean, listen, I definitely love Michael Penix. No question, but I can't sit here and say I really wanted him at 6 because he's had injury history. And more so than anything else, being a lefty and having Evan Neal. Now, obviously, we went out and got Illuminor, but I definitely worried about that blindside protector for him because I thought Illuminor was going to be the backup. Like, I didn't think Illuminor would be starting. That's how bad Evan Neal's been, and I was scared of that. But anybody that watches my channel knows for years I've touted Michael Penix, and just so. But I really like Cameron Ward, and I think Cameron Ward is kind of similar to Michael Penix. So
yeah, I could see that.
You know, they have the same type. They both have a cannon or an arm. They both make some throws that kind of sail a little bit, but
I asked myself, I think Drake May, Jaden Daniels, and Caleb Williams would have been first overall in most drafts.
Yep.
It just so happened that they were all 3 of them were in the same. I think they would have been first overall in most drafts. I don't feel that way about these quarterbacks. Even though they're probably going to go first overall in this draft, I think in most drafts they wouldn't be first overall because in a lot of drafts there'd be a stronger quarterback prospect. So I would have them below those three. And then after that, it's just a matter of preference, how you feel they'll fit your offense. You obviously you measure potential upside. So, but I think the top three in this past class are clearly above them. And then, McCarthy, I think, is in a similar grouping to Shedeur Sanders. I feel like both of those guys, I think, have a relatively high ceiling, but they're not nearly as you're not nearly as sure about them as potential NFL prospects coming out. So
2022 was a terrible draft class.
Yeah.
2023, who was in that one?
23, you had 23
Stroud and Young.
Oh, Stroud, yeah.
Stroud,
Anthony Richardson, Stroud, and Young.
I don't know. Young or not Young. I'm sorry. Stroud probably would have been number one overall. But I don't know that if Ward and Sanders came out in that Bryce Young or
Bryce Young went number one overall.
Oh, true. I don't think he should have.
Stroud went second, I think, or third.
He did. Second. You're right. Yeah, Carolina traded up to get Bryce Young.
Yeah.
So I guess they probably would have been third in that one.
And Beto says, thanks. Always loving the live streams. Thank you for being here, man.
Jets are beating the Rams.
And let's see. If we take Hunter, then yes, second round, get Milroe. See, I'm just never. I'm not killing you for your opinion. I just disagree with that opinion. My opinion is always, if you like a quarterback, you take one. You don't bank on waiting till the second round. If you need a quarterback and you feel like the guy's capable of being a franchise quarterback, you take him. Agreed. Obviously, the Giants didn't feel highly enough about McCarthy or Penix or Nix in last year's class to be a franchise quarterback, given the state of the franchise. You also have to factor in Malik Neighbors wouldn't have been a part of the team. So they didn't feel putting a guy into a situation with Darius Slayton as the number one wide receiver was ideal for those prospects. So, but if they felt like J.J. McCarthy was an elite quarterback prospect, you take one. You don't wait till the second round to draft a quarterback.
I honestly think they did the McCarthy thing. I think they were trying to blow some smoke to try to get one of those top three teams.
Sure they got Neighbors.
I really do think that's what they were doing.
Yeah.
And they were hoping Jaden Daniels or
one of the other quarterbacks trickle down. Yeah.
Right. That's what I'm thinking. And I also think if that happened, they might have traded up. Honestly,
I think they tried to trade up too.
I'm saying, like, if that happened, I think they would have traded with the Cardinals because the Cardinals didn't need a quarterback. I could have seen them moving up to 4 because they did try to trade up. So actually, there's no question they would have traded up to 4 to get one of those guys.
Oh yeah, they would have traded up to 3 if they could have.
Right.
For sure.
But if McCarthy would have went top 3, they were trading with the Cardinals.
100%. 100%. Now, a lot of teams would have tried, but the Giants would have been a part of the parade for sure, trying to trade up. Bodo says 17-7 is the score, Mickey. Bodo says Giants are losing. Bodo says, I have the unfortunate pleasure of being on time off in Atlanta. The 2 early games are both New Jersey football teams. God help me. Oh, that's awful, Bodo. My
you in Atlanta, you have the Jets Rams? That's strange. I would think you'd get like Carolina or.
That is weird. That is weird. Well, you know what? Maybe because
that's why I
guess play into the playoff picture for the Falcons.
It's CBS, so
yeah.
Carolina's on Fox, Cleveland, Cincinnati's on CBS, Tennessee, Indiana. I'm surprised Tennessee's not. You don't get that, but maybe it's not a low. I don't know. That's weird.
Elijah says, thoughts on Tiki saying we need culture wins. I completely disagree at this point. Last year I got it. I got it more to an extent, but at this point, the team is benching everybody. Like I think they're waving the white flag. So I don't know, man. I completely disagree with Tiki on that.
Yeah, agreed.
Because most of the guys that are playing on this team won't be on the team next year that are playing at this point.
True.
And Giants will start with at the 30. Beto says, could we agree not having DJ is affecting us? Yeah. DJ's better than anybody that we're throwing out there right now at quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
We'd have a higher chance at winning these games, sure. And the team clearly quit that first week when DJ didn't play.
Right.
DJ's not good, but he's better than the alternative.
Right.
On the
started.
Team. Yeah. So, start of the third quarter, Giants trail by 10, 17-7. Let me change the quarter.
Yep. Please change the quarter.
Pistol formation. They're going to hand off to Tracy out of the gun. Tracy up the middle for 3.
Mm-hmm. Yep, 17-7. Bijan Robinson had a touchdown run. There was a pick 6. And our touchdown was by Tyrone Tracy.
14:35 to go. The Giants will break the huddle. They get 3 on first down by Tracy. He's going to motion Wandell. Tracy to his left. Locke takes the snap, looks right, batted at the line of scrimmage, picked off, going to run it in.
There's another touchdown for Drew Lock.
Oh, my God.
Matthew Judon. He was a big signing this offseason. And Drew Lock with 3 touchdowns today, just 2 to the wrong team.
When's the last time? It's probably Eli. When's the last time a Giants quarterback threw 2 pick sixes in the same game?
I mean, Mike Glenn.
Did Daniel Jones accomplish that feat? I'm not sure.
He's definitely thrown his share of pick sixes.
He's thrown pick sixes, but has he thrown 2 in the same game?
I don't know. I mean, Eli threw 3. I was at that game, and I told you I saw the guy burning the jersey in the parking lot afterwards. That was in 2007. That's quite a feat, though. And he missed it. He banked it in there. Or it snuck in there. So, the tank is on.
They're running the play, as Bad Dog likes to say.
They're running the play. Look at Evan Neal, Chris. Great job by Evan Neal. Did you see that? What the hell was that, Chris?
He's garbage.
He's so bad. What is that?
And Don Rose says, Casey and Tana are the Curry and Clay of sports talk. I appreciate that. Did you see that, by the way, that the NBA, I actually think it's a good idea that they're incorporating Caitlin Clark into the All-Star game just because she's massively popular. But they chose to do Steph Curry and Klay Thompson are going up against her and some other female. I can't remember in a 3-point contest. I feel like Klay Thompson's kind of like, I get that, they have the connection with the Splash Brothers, but I feel like he's kind of, I don't know. He's done at this point. He's not, I was surprised they chose Klay Thompson.
Yeah.
But I'll watch that. That'll be entertaining to see her go up against Steph Curry.
Yeah.
Kicks away. That'll go out of the end zone. Giants will start with it at the 30.
Let's see what we got now.
And I appreciate that, Danios. Thank you for being here, man. And have a happy holiday.
Happy holidays.
Big Mike says, happy holiday, fellas. How many starters return next year, and do we start rookie quarterback right away? I'm leaning no. I don't think we're going to start the rookie quarterback right away. I think we'll start, like Bad Dog said, if we sign a guy like a Winston or a Cousins. I think they'll probably start. I don't know if it'll last 8 games, like Bad Dog said earlier. It could. That may be the plan going in, but I think they'll start at least a couple, at a minimum, 2 or 3 games before they throw the rookie in.
Yeah, it might be like Brissett started, 5?
Yeah.
Something. I think wherever our buy is, Chris, I think that's probably when they make the move.
Locke drops back and he'll throw it into the dirt, incomplete. Was trying to set up a screen.
This is the Giants offense we know. This is the one.
And as far as how many starters return, well, let's think about it. Tyrone Tracy's obviously going to return. Malik Neighbors is obviously going to return. Wandell's going to return.
Yeah. He will not. And
no.
Then he'll be a starter. Andrew Thomas will come back.
Andrew Thomas will return. You figure Illuminor will return.
Yep.
JMS will return.
Yes, yep.
So that's 3 on the line, plus the 2 receivers and the running back. That's 6.
Ryan Burns,
Tavon, Dexter Lawrence,
Adam Okereke.
Hand off to Tracy up the middle. He'll get 3. So yeah, we already named 5 defensive starters. Deonte Banks will return probably. Yep. That's 6. Newman 7.
Yep.
A good amount. You're talking at least, 13, 14 starters at a minimum out of the 22.
Yep.
But I expect us to have a new wide receiver 2 next year. I think Wandell's in the spot. Quarterback, of course. At least 1 new starter on the line.
Yep, I was going to say Van Roten probably won't be there.
Locke drops back, throws in, it's batted away. 4th and 6, Giants will punt. So figure at least 3 or 4 new offensive starters.
Eric Smith, go out there and pay him.
I think we'll have a new cornerback. Probably a cornerback 1 via free agency, and they'll move Banks to the 2. Possibly a new safety starter. But yeah, I mean, a lot of the guys will be back.
Yep.
So Giants will have to punt. Chris Hoffman says, you rather draft JJ or Penix over Ward or Sanders?
I mean I like Penix a lot. I don't know how JJ is going to be. He should be good in Minnesota.
I think JJ is going to be good.
But with the Giants, I was just worried because he's never really had a bad situation in Michigan. And coming here,
I would have been more confident drafting those guys in this draft after we had neighbors already on the roster too.
Yeah, true.
So, but I would say they're comparable in terms of my confidence level. Like quarterback's always a crapshoot, bad dog. Always a crapshoot.
Absolutely.
And
I broke the seal, so now I'm gonna go.
There you go.
There we go. Be right.
So like none of them are a surefire slam dunk, right? And I view those guys as guys with pretty good upside. Like I'm not going to say they have elite upside, but I kind of felt the same way about CJ Stroud when he was coming out. I was a big fan of him as a prospect. Obviously, we never had the chance to draft him, so I didn't talk about him a ton going into the draft. But Stroud was a guy that I didn't view as like incredible upside. I didn't view him like Josh Allen, Pat Mahomes type upside, but I thought he had the potential to be a really good to borderline great quarterback in the NFL. I'm not saying these guys will be, but I feel similar to a guy like a Shedeur Sanders. I feel like he could be a really good to great quarterback in the NFL. Not saying he will, but I think he has the potential to be. So quarterbacks miss a lot, right? It's a crapshoot. Aaron says, what's up, boys? Eagles fan here. Jake Elliott is 0-7 this season, over 50 yards. Interesting question. Do you believe in drafting a kicker? No, I don't. Because you look around the league, and if you want to draft one in the 7th round, that's fine. But if you look around the league, Aaron, a lot of the kickers go undrafted. Like, I feel like that's a position you don't need to use a draft pick. I don't believe in spending big bucks in free agency on one either. I believe in retaining one once you have a good one, but I wouldn't spend a whole lot on an incoming free agent. I'm not going to slam teams for drafting a kicker if they take one late day 3, but I don't think it's a necessity. I think you could find a good kicker as an undrafted free agent. But it is an important position, one of the most important positions that people take for granted when they have a good one.
Right. We won a lot of games because of Graham Gano in 2022.
Yeah. You know, it's like having a good closer in baseball. Like when you have one, you don't realize how good you have it till he's gone.
Right.
You know, so David, man, thank you very much for being a member. He says, here's hoping the 2025 Giants will be better than the 2025 version. I will never stop rooting for this team, no matter how much they hurt me. I mean, I am in agreement with you. I'm always going to root for the team. Always.
Yeah.
That's what a fan does. You don't hope your team, hope your team does poorly. The teams that are the fans that
root point you do. At this point, you're hoping.
Yeah, but it's for the betterment of the team.
Right.
But I'm never going to leave the team, man. I've invested too much into him.
Exactly. Over 40 years for me. I ain't going.
No. Here's Penix out of the pistol from the 31. Mooney motion, left to right. He'll take the snap. He's going to give it to Bijan. Bijan's got a huge hole. Look at the hole.
That's great. I still have a commercial on my television.
Oh, well, you didn't miss much. Bijan Robinson got 15.
I changed the channel? No, they just got back late. They got back really freaking late. Good job, upstate New York.
15 yards for Robinson on the first.
They're showing that. They're showing the replay now. I don't know what the hell they were doing there. A local commercial ran right over the game. Not that it matters.
And we got an injury on the field. It's Pinnock.
So you might have lost a contact.
Yeah. John, thank you so much, man. Hope you're doing well. He says, Merry Christmas to you guys. Merry Christmas to you, man. And everyone in the stream, thanks for being there and for us during this miserable season on to 25. That's all you can do, man. Move on to 25. We're almost there, buddy. 2 more weeks after this.
I didn't realize Derrick Henry had that many yards from scrimmages. I knew he was doing good, but I didn't realize it was
he's killing it.
Yards from scrimmage. Holy shit.
He had 160 yards yesterday.
Maybe he will be a top 8 back.
He doesn't get many receiving yards, but yeah, I think he, at least coming into today, he was ahead of Saquon on the ground.
Oh, I don't know about that because
not anymore now. But there's a handoff off the right side, nowhere to go as he's bottled up because Saquon has more receiving yards.
Yeah, but like I'm thinking rushing yards can't. Otherwise, he'd be on pace to break the rushing record, wouldn't he?
He was right there with Saquon because Saquon didn't have a great game last week, and then he had 160 yards yesterday.
He's got 1636.
That's including yesterday?
Wow, yeah, 1636. I didn't realize he was having that big of a year.
Yeah, man. I mean, it helps with Lamar with the dual threat.
I wonder if that guy kept Henry on the bench. I think he did. Remember, I played him last week. He had Henry on the bench.
Penix drops back out of the gun, has time, throws, checks down over the middle. It's London. London makes two men miss up to the 42-41 of New York.
And he's still talking shit. Remember, he got the penalty, and he's still talking shit.
And Big Boo Boss says Drew locking up the number 1 pick, running the play. Yeah, he's done that. He's done that for Giants fans. Marshall Law says fire Sleepy Joe. Part Pop paid $5 million for this. Appreciate you for being here, Lou. Sleepy Joe. Are we gonna use the Biden nickname on Joe Shane?
Yeah, right.
11:31 to go here in the third. Pistol formation here for the Falcons. Looked like a full start, but no flag. I thought there was some early movement. But Algiers picks up 12. They're just running on the Giants at will.
Yeah. Pretty easy now. It's in cruise control. At least we led in this game.
We did. There was actually a point in this game where we were convinced that the Giants may win.
Right. They looked so good in that first quarter. We won the first quarter today.
Yeah.
It's a 4-quarter game, though.
And Kayvon and Drake London getting into it after the play.
And Drake London's getting into it with everybody, ain't he?
So from the 29, it's a pistol formation here for Penix. He's going to motion the wide receiver right to left, takes the snap, play action, under pressure, tries to check it down. It's bobbled. Wouldn't have been much anyway, incomplete.
No. Did a good job to get rid of the ball. He was getting ready to throw it, saw something he didn't like, and pulled back on it.
And Ecuadorman says, Cowboys fan, but I live in Atlanta. Welcome, guys. Thank you for being here, man. And I apologize that the people in Atlanta had to. Well, if you're a Falcons fan, I guess you're enjoying it. But if you're not, I apologize that you guys had to watch this game.
Yeah.
And here's Penix from the 29. He'll take the snap. He drops back. He'll check it down to Algier. And he's got a running head start. He'll be popped out of bounds, but not before he gets 9, maybe 10. Depends on the spot.
Yeah, just quick little dump off pass there. And see some guys, they have no clue who they are. Summers out there. Do you know who Summers is?
I don't know, man.
Donna Summers? I mean, 3rd down and 1. 4-down territory here.
And they're going to hand off. They'll get the first down up to the 18.
Very easy.
We might have to start talking movies here. I don't know if I keep up with this game. I'm trying.
Yeah, it's just it's always extensive garbage time with the Giants.
Edward says, New York Giants fan here since the Y.A. Tittles days. This team is so hard to watch.
It's tough.
And that's coming from somebody, Bad Dog, that we don't have experience with. We say that all the time because people always say that the wilderness years, as they called it, was tougher than these years. And that's coming from that generation.
Right.
Here's Penix out of the pistol, takes the snap. He's going to turn. He's going to give to Robinson. Robinson off the right guard, picks up 4. It'll be 2nd and 6.
Yeah, just a methodical drive here by Atlanta. And we are looking at 2-13. And we have the big game between. Unfortunately, I'm not going to get that game. I'm going to get New England. I'm going to get New England Buffalo, but I do have red zone, so I'll just throw it on there and we'll watch that.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting to. I'm getting the New England game.
Yeah, I'm getting New England Buffalo, but like I said, I will just keep it on red zone. We know that Buffalo is going to demolish New England, and
here's Penix from the 15. Takes the snap, gives to Bijan. Bijan, nowhere to go again. The rookie Andrew Phillips first in on the scene.
He's good, man.
Yeah, he's good.
Phillips can play.
He's a really good tackler.
He is really good. He's the one that jumped over the car.
Yeah, I'm a fan, man. That ironically, that was a pick a lot of Giants fans hated.
I didn't hate it, but I wanted like Cooper Beebe. Like I'm like, why didn't they take a lineman? I didn't know much about Drew Phillips, but he's been really good. Pleasant surprise this year.
3rd and 6 for Atlanta at the 15. And he'll take the snap. He drops back. He throws to Robinson. Robinson is going to scoot forward all the way up to the 3 before he's tripped down. First down.
So touchdown incoming here.
And Ecuadorman says, when the Cowboys aren't on your stream, is I watch. Well, I appreciate you for being here, man. Appreciate you for being here. I can't fault a Cowboy fan for wanting to watch a Cowboy streamer.
I can't either. Stomach's hungry, growling. I always fast on Sunday because I have my Saturday. So I don't eat till after the game. My stomach's like, you're hungry, brother.
From the 2.5, 1st and goal. Penix looks, throws, and broken up. That was Deonte Banks on the coverage.
And Banks letting London know about it because London's been talking the shit.
And Kuda says needed to get rid of Quan. Love him, but he would have gave us 5 wins, so we can't draft the quarterback. So many years, 5-win teams, so many quarterbacks.
That's such a fact, dude. This is exactly right. We would have won a couple more games, would not have got a quarterback, but we still would have been terrible.
Yeah.
This is exactly right because we might have won 5 games. And what does that do?
Nothing.
Right.
Penix is going to turn. He's going to hand, and Robinson's just going to walk
into the end zone.
31-7. So tell me some good Christmas movie, guys. 31-7. Extra point pending halfway through the 3rd quarter.
Yeah,
I did just watch a good movie yesterday. It was on HBO Max, the new Clint Eastwood movie, Juror Number 2. That's worth watching if you guys haven't watched it. 31-7.
It's a good game. 2-13, and instead of doing my post game video, which I normally do, I'm probably just going to go live later tonight. Let's do that instead of the post game. Do a little live stream, just talk about the team for whatever. Drink my sorrows away.
How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Definitely one of my favorite. Well, definitely one of my favorite. I thought Jim Carrey in the live version was highly underrated. He did a great job. Let's see. What's the Kevin Costner movie about the draft? Draft Day. Mm-hmm. The most unrealistic movie of all time, but it's entertaining. Edward says Christmas Vacation. I mean, that's a classic.
It is.
National Anthem.
I say it all the time. Christmas Story, Black Christmas. My two favorite movies outside of the Rudolph, the typical Charlie Brown Christmas, the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, Frosty the Snowman, the Grinch animated one.
What about Debbie Does Santa?
What's that?
Debbie Does Santa and the Elves. It's a Christmas version of Debbie Does Santa.
Why not?
Oh God!
Ho, ho, it gives a new meaning to ho ho ho, I guess.
You perverts! You perverts!
Yeah,
Ecuadorman says, Bad Dog talking about food, pizza, or pasta for you?
For me, like pizza, I definitely, who the hell doesn't love pizza? But I do have some ziti. I can't eat it. I brought home ziti. We had a work party on Friday, and I took home some ziti, and I did not eat it yesterday. So that's going to have to wait. I'm probably going to have to throw it away. But because this Christmas, it's Wednesday. That sucks because it's right in the middle of the week. But I'm not depriving myself. I've been on this diet for almost 3 years, and I weigh 169 pounds. I'm not 6% body fat anymore, but I'm comfortably between 7 and 8, and I'm okay maintaining that. So I'm like, you know what? If I won't overindulge in Christmas, but at the same time, I'm not going to be like, I can only have 1,800 calories. I'm not doing that shit. But I like them both. I love.
I was going to say, it's hard for me. The thing with, all right. I mean, I love both. You can't go wrong with either one.
You can't.
The thing with the pasta, I mean, I love pasta. I could eat pasta for hours.
Yeah.
But I feel like when I get pasta, I want something in addition to it. like chicken parm, veal parm.
Yeah, it's like a side dish almost.
As a standalone dish, I think I got to go pizza, even though I love both nearly equally.
Like when we go to Delmonico's, that's usually what it is. I get filet mignon or I get veal parm and penne. And penne is my favorite noodle. So I like penne pasta a lot, but I'm with you. It's not usually a meal. Like I love spaghetti and meatballs.
Yeah.
But I'm not really going to order that as a meal. I make spaghetti now and again here. Like I'll make spaghetti, but it's not often. So yeah, pizza's probably more my go-to. Plus, you know what? There's a lot less.
It also depends on the pizza.
A lot less dishes with pizza.
It also depends on the pizzeria.
True. I mean, I'm not going to Domino's.
Yeah. Larry J. Nosferatu opens on Christmas Day. Yeah, it's a great holiday film for the family.
Yeah, shit. I listen. I like
of all the times that you would choose to. I mean, I'm excited to see it, but what a random time to pick Christmas Day.
But people do go on Christmas Day.
It's true.
I will say this: when that comes to Peacock, Netflix, whatever, I'll watch it. I'll watch that.
It looks good
because it'll be. I mean, I have the original, but obviously it's silent. But it.
What the hell? Even when the Lions screw up, they throw a touchdown.
Yeah. Sam Laporta.
34-14 as Goff hits Laporta there. Neighbors with a catch, by the way, if you're keeping track. He got 6 yards there, and we'll see what Locke does here. But, yeah, I'm excited to see Nosferatu. I think it looks awesome.
Good thing, yeah. That should be, like I said, I'll wait a couple months, and it'll be available on one of those streaming services, and I'll check it. Probably Amazon Prime. I don't have Netflix anymore, but I could share that. Maybe I could get the password from in-laws or something. I don't know.
Nowhere to go there. They maybe get back to the line. Is KP in the chat? Good to see him. You guys should fire Dable. His team is pathetic. I think there's a good chance we're going to.
Nope.
I think there's a good chance we're going. And he says I'm Italian. I also got to go both.
You got to go both. The other thing is if you're eating pasta, you got to have bread with it. You can't. You need bread with that. That goes together. Because you gotta clean off the plate with the sauce or the sauce with the bread. You got to clean that off.
He almost threw another pick as he was looking for Wandell.
Yep.
Broken up.
Yeah,
so 4th and 4.
You definitely got to clean the sauce off the plate or the bottom of the bowl with the bread. Like that.
Are you one? Because I know this is like my dad's side of the family was 100% Italian. They were big salad eaters after dinner, and I feel like a lot of Italians do that. Did you go with that at all? No, right?
Never did that. We always had salad before.
It's strictly before, right? But I feel like a lot of Italians do that. A lot of Italians eat salad after they eat.
Look at John Mara. What the hell? What the hell? You see John Mara? What the hell? It's like he turned his back to the camera. He's like, I'm embarrassed to show my face.
Punts away. Falcons go for the fair catch at the 12.
Gillen's done great today.
We got Fred Claus. That's a pretty good Christmas movie. Pretty good.
Yeah, like I said, I like the old shit. Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas. I like that one. I always say if you're a Gen Xer, you know that one well.
Ray W says, "Is that a tossed salad, Chris?"
I mean, after dinner, it is.
Let me I got to rewind it real quick, and then I'll catch up with Bad Luck. I was looking at the chat. I saw the very end of John Mara's reaction. I want to see this again.
Yeah, watch. He just goes like this. And he like turns around like, "Is this shit you're giving me?"
Oh, he's got Tish in the booth too.
Yeah, look at his reaction to it. It's pretty bad.
Oh no, I thought that was Tish. That's not Tish. Oh yeah, he's pissed.
Yeah, right. He's like, "Holy shit!"
He's not happy.
He's like, "The camera's on me. Let me act like I don't want the tank."
Yeah.
Yeah, this is wow.
It's bad. It's bad.
So, yep, another fumble by Washington, and Philadelphia has the ball again. Philadelphia up 24-14, looking to put the division on ice today. And they will do so. That's 3 turnovers for Washington today.
And T says, if we throw another pick 6, we set a record. Would that? I honestly have no idea.
Well, Eli did it against Minnesota.
It was 3 times, right?
He threw 3 pick 6s. He threw 4 interceptions and 3 pick 6s, and a 42-17 loss. I was there for that.
So. I remember that game. That was awful.
Jalen Hurts.
I feel like outside of the playoff game, at least back then, we always did bad against Minnesota. Outside of the 2000 playoff.
We never played Minnesota well ever. Yeah. You think Philadelphia rests Jalen Hurts the rest of the year if they win today?
No, only because of seeding. They're in play for the bye.
They are, but they play Dallas. You don't think Kenny Pickett could beat Dallas?
He could, but if he could go, I maybe he won't because of I think they'll be cautious, but I think if he could go, he'll play.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the concussion, I guess, you know what, it doesn't matter. They don't get to choose.
Yeah, they don't get to say in it.
I'm just trying to figure out who has the tiebreaker here. Like the Lions are 12-2, the Vikings are 12-2.
They played each other last week. I know that.
The Eagles are 12-2.
Well, the way the tiebreaker works is it starts with head-to-head, and then if head-to-head doesn't apply, it's conference record.
So the Eagles, who'd they lose to?
I don't know. And Penix is going to turn. He's going to hand. Algier will get 2. And Richard says the very first Simpsons episode is a nice Christmas show. I'm going to be. I mean, I've obviously watched Simpsons before, but I'm not a big Simpsons guy. I know that a lot of people are. Obviously, it's maybe the most successful show of all time when you factor in how long it's been around. I'm not the biggest Simpsons guy though.
Well, let's take a look at this. The Eagles are 7-2 in the conference. The Lions are 8-1. The Vikings are 7-2. So the Lions would have it right now.
If they didn't go head to head, yeah.
Yeah, they didn't.
And there's a throw to McLeod. McLeod's pushed out of bounds. He'll get near the first down marker.
Oh, there you go, right there. It shows it. So
12-2. But they'll still have something to play for the last week if they're tied because if the NFL usually makes it so all the games are at the same time in terms of teams.
Right. And yeah, the Lions and Vikings, obviously that's a big deal. So they probably will play their starters if they have a chance.
That game will be flexed. You would think.
Minnesota, Detroit.
Yeah, it has to be, right?
Which means that the Eagles have something to play for. They'd have to win, right? So
yeah, the Eagles have something to play for.
Right. Because only one team gets to bye.
Yeah. And there's a handoff up the middle.
Depends on the spot.
Look at
Drew pulled him back like 3 yards.
You're both just dragging him, trying to screw up the spot.
A for effort.
And Bodo says Debbie does the North Pole is a good one. And then the sequel, she does the South Pole. And the other sequel, she does both poles. It's called bipolar.
Right.
It's good family fun, Bodo says.
Sounds like it.
And here they are out of the pistol from the 23. Man in motion right to left. Takes the snap. He's going to give to Algiers. Algiers off the left side. Picks up 4. And Brady says, diarrhea again, guys. I'm down 150 pounds this team. There you go.
Rams and Jets, 9 apiece. Rams have the ball in Jets territory, though, deep. Carolina continues to lead 23-20 in Arizona against Arizona. Tennessee's done. They're down 38-7, which is where we could be at the end of this drive.
They benched the quarterback there.
Who did?
Tennessee going into the game. They benched the Mayo guy.
Oh yeah,
Levis.
Cleveland's losing. Chicago's losing.
2nd and 6. They're going to pitch it forward to McLeod, and McLeod's going to go forward for 8 and a first down as we continue to tick down the third quarter.
Yes, just tick, 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 move.
JTAC says, I feel like it's unlikely that our team is tanking, and if we are not tanking, how bad is this team? I think we are tanking.
We're absolutely tanking.
But the team is bad. Now, again, it depends what your definition of tanking is, JTAC. If your definition is, do I think the players are trying to lose the game that are on the field? The answer is no, I don't think they are. But do I think the Giants are telling their guys that are a little bit dinged up to make sure they sit out the game? Yes, I do.
Yeah.
And Penix is going to hand to Robinson. Robinson gets a yard. Like, they're tanking the proper way. If there is a proper way to tank, the Giants are doing it the proper way.
Right, they're just benching everybody.
Yeah.
Well, take a look at the guys out there right now. Like I said, there's Summers is out there, whoever the hell that is. You know, Dexter Lawrence is out. Tyler Nubin's out. They really could sit Malik Neighbors if they want to. I think if he breaks the record, they will. See, that's what I remember. I remember Kirk Cousins got off to a good start, but the last 5, terrible. I didn't realize he was that bad.
And shotgun formation here for Penix from the 36. Man in motion, McLeod. And he's going to hand Robinson with a huge hole as he picks up 11 and a first down.
Yeah. Right off, right guard.
It's a good YouTube name. Greg the Turd Holer.
That's what we do as Giants fans, man. We freaking feel like I'm hauling turds every freaking week. This team.
Maybe he does that for a profession. Maybe he's a plumber. Maybe, I don't know. But the Turd Holer says they are fielding a team they know can't win. So, yeah, it's tanking. Yeah, it feels that way.
Septic tanking.
Yeah.
For the Turd Holer. There you go.
And from their own 46, pistol formation for the Falcons here with a minute to go here in the third. Man in motion, McLeod takes the snap, play action. Penix drops back, throws. He's got a man down to the 36 and a first down. Not a J-Tex says, is Dable that comfortable? I don't know. He might be. I don't know. Who knows? We don't know the inner workings of the Giants. But here's what I'll say, man. Even if an organization tells the coach, because in my heart of hearts, I believe that's what the Eagles did back when they clearly tanked that last game of the season when Doug Peterson benched Jalen Hurts. So I'm sure they told him that with the assurance that he's going to keep his job, but he didn't end up keeping his job because the pressure from the fan base and the national media, I think, forced them to fire Doug Peterson. So even if Merritt told him that, doesn't necessarily mean he's going to keep his job.
That looked like a false start.
There's a handoff to Robinson. He'll pick up 8. It'll be 2nd and 2.
We'll get to the fourth quarter.
As we get to the fourth quarter.
Kenny Pickett hasn't thrown a lot today, but 9 out of 12, 97 yards and a touchdown. So it just goes to show you, dude.
Well, you got that line and those weapons, man.
Almost anybody can play in that system. He does have a pick, but I mean, it's insane. But hey, man, I mean, it is the Giants, but I've been impressed with Michael Penix. I think he's done a good job today. I mean, he hasn't blown the doors off here, but 15 out of 24. He has an interception. Obviously, the interception wasn't his fault. Yeah. He's also had 3 drops today. So
yeah, well, I wouldn't say he's looked great, but he's looked comfortable. Yeah.
We'll see. And again, he doesn't he's not working with these guys in practice. I mean, this week he did obviously work with the first teamers, but who do they play next week? Here's Atlanta. Let's see what Atlanta has next week. I think they had an easier team. I don't think Atlanta has a tough schedule. Oh no, they don't. They have Washington. Wow, Washington's going to lose today, so they're going to be 9-6. And
Atlanta's not good, but they could beat Washington. I don't think Washington's very good. I think they got off to a hot start, but
so you look at the West, you got the Seahawks and Rams are both 8-6. The Rams are probably going to win. They just went up 16-9 to the Jets. So they'd be 9-6. Tampa Bay will be 9-6. Atlanta will be 8-7. The Commanders will be 9-6. The Packers are going to be in there. They're 10-4. Minnesota. So there's that one playoff spot between Washington, Atlanta, Seattle, and the Rams and Tampa Bay. Obviously, 2 of those teams are going to win the division.
Right.
But you have Seattle 8-6. Atlanta's going to be 8-7. Who does Seattle play today?
That Atlanta-Washington game is going to be massive.
It's huge.
Yeah. Because that'll be a tiebreaker, too.
And Tampa Bay plays Dallas. Seattle plays Minnesota. So Seattle's probably going to 8-7.
Yeah.
So this is a huge game for the Rams. Like the Rams, they should win. I mean, they're up 16-9, but
and thoughts on the talk of somebody asked us that earlier, J-Tech. I mean, Bob, but I'm not going to criticize Bobby for coming out. I don't know if I would have, but that's his prerogative that he decided to come out and say that the Giants contacted him, showing displeasure with the video. And after he came out and did it, of course, it looks horrible for the Giants. The fact that the Giants are showing any interest at all and I'm not disrespecting Bobby. I think he's great. I love Bobby, obviously. But the fact that the organization is concerned with what a podcaster has to say, it's not a good look. The Giants felt the need to go out there and basically say that they're pissed off that he made the video. Like that's his opinion. He's entitled to make that video.
Correct. Do they get pissed off at the guys in the media, like the guys that cover the Giants.
Well, I think that sends the message. The fact that Bobby came out and said that, it sends the message that you would think if they're doing that to him, you would think that they try to influence members of the media, which is not a good look.
Correct. Look at the ball control this half. Well, they're never going to control me, so it really don't matter. I mean, I'm not in the media, so they can't really do anything to me anyway. Like, I don't have anything to do with the New York Giants outside of just talking about them.
So 3rd and 1 here for the Falcons at the 26. And Penix is going to take the snap. He's going to turn. He's going to give to Robinson. Robinson bounces off 3 tacklers up to the 21 and a first down.
And he's mad he didn't get the touchdown there.
And J-Tech says, do you think that means the GM is staying 100%? I've thought that all along. I know fans don't want to hear that when I post it on Twitter. I'm just giving you guys my opinion. I'm not the decision maker. I could be completely wrong, but I've been a fan of this team for a long time. I like to think I have a pretty good vibe for what the team is going to do. And I've thought all along Joe Shane's coming back. I'd be very surprised if he doesn't. Dable, I would not be surprised if he's fired. I'm leaning Dable will be fired.
Yeah, I'm thinking the coaching staff's getting cleaned out. I just have a feeling.
Yeah. And Penix takes the snap out of the pistol. He's going to give to Algier. Algier off the left side, picks up 2 up to the 19, 2nd and 8.
And it's not like I don't like Brian Dable, but I feel like when you're picking first overall, you probably have to make a change, right? I mean, especially after last year.
This is my logic, and I think I said this during our show. This is my logic if I'm Mara, why I would fire Dable and keep Shane. And if it was what I would rather just keep them together if you're keeping Shane. But knowing Mara, knowing that he has succumbed to the pressure before, you talk about you look what he did with Pat Shurmur the first year with Daniel Jones. He fired him, which I think in hindsight, most people would say at this point it was probably not a good decision. Knowing that Daniel Jones was coming off a pretty good rookie year, bringing in a new offensive play call the second year, it just was a bad decision.
Mm-hmm.
So knowing that he's done that before, the mission for the Giants, Bad Dog, has to be to not do to the next quarterback what they did to Daniel Jones. And if that's the mission, the safest avenue to do that is to fire Brian Dable.
Correct, because you don't want Dable to be bad next year, and then you got to fire him with a rookie quarterback.
Exactly. So,
then they could relieve themselves of Shane and draft another quarterback and start it all over again. It'll be interesting. This offseason will be much more interesting than the regular season, Chris. I can tell you that.
That's for sure. 3rd and 2 here for Penix. He's going to turn. He's going to give to Robinson. Robinson tries to pop it to the outside, and he'll get 2. There's a flag on the play. I think it's going to be a hold.
I don't know why he didn't just go forward, why he bounced that outside. I think he had an easy first down.
But that's why ultimately I think they're going to do that, even though I get why fans think that's stupid, but that's going to be, I think, their reasoning if they do that.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're going to say, well, if we keep Shane, he's going to bring in a coach, then that'll hold the mob off for at least 2 years while we have a rookie quarterback. You can't fire a coach after 1 year. You can't fire GM, so that's
definitely not going to be a lame duck coach at that point.
That's what I think they're going to do. Because they're going to have to give the fan base some kind of blood after this year.
Yeah.
And you can't blame it on the outside coaching staff because you did that last year. You fired everybody. Mm-hmm. He took over as the play caller. You got a new defensive coordinator. You got a new offensive line coach.
Bowen's been garbage, though.
Yeah. Oh, he's been awful. 3rd and 11.
As is the team, so makes sense.
From the 22, Penix takes the snap, drops back, looks, throws, caught, and he's tackled down at the 19. They'll have to settle for 3.
This is a safe pass to McLeod, and 34-7 incoming.
Yep. Is Rocky IV considered a Christmas movie since he defeated Ivan?
That's a good question.
I mean, if you want to get technical.
Yeah. Why Christmas? Where? It's in Russia. What are you nuts?
Rocky 3 had a Christmas element to it too. I remember with the gift, right? With like the robot.
Oh, that's part 4.
Oh, that's 4 also.
That's
You're right.
4, yeah.
You're right.
Yep, that's part 4. Well, it's not the Christmas gift, though. That's Paulie's birthday gets the robot.
Oh, it's the birthday. You're right.
Yeah, yeah. Trust me, I know all the Rockies very well. I know them all very well. Every one of them. I've seen every one of them like 100. Even Rocky 5, I've seen it 100 times.
You saw the newer Rockies also? You saw Rocky Balboa?
I saw Rocky Balboa.
Uh-huh.
And I saw
the
first Creed, but I only watched those once.
The first Creed was great.
Yeah.
The last one was not very good.
I heard it wasn't very good.
Yeah.
But the Rockies with Rock, those I watched. The first 5 I watched a lot. I mean, that's my childhood. So, I gotta go pee again.
You go pee.
Over the other day. Be right back.
You do what you gotta do. But yeah, you can't take Stallone out of the Rockies. I love Michael B. Jordan. I think he's a great cripper. You can't take Stallone out of the Rockies. That was a mistake with the third one. David, thank you very much, man. He says, here is Christmas's special, still worth watching today. Yogi's first Christmas, where Yogi, along with Boo Boo and Cindy Bear, decides to skip winter hibernation and stay up to celebrate Christmas with his friend. I've never seen that one. I do like Yogi and Boo Boo, though. Maybe I'll check it out. I've never seen that one. I've seen Office Christmas Party. It's great. It's hysterical. Blue says, my question is, was Daniel Jones sort of forced on Dable? They clearly wanted another quarterback in the draft. If Dable wanted out on DJ, then maybe they keep Dable. I don't think he was forced on them. I think it was what they viewed as the best alternative of a situation where there wasn't many options. But I don't think that should be held against them, personally, because there wasn't, if we're being honest, there wasn't very many options there. So I don't think ultimately that's why they're going to fire Dable if they fire him. I don't think it's going to be that. I think it's going to be more so that Mara feels that he would have to fire him next year if the team is really bad again. And knowing you're going to be drafting a quarterback, I think that's going to be the logic. And for Joe Shane, as much as he may be great friends with Brian Dable, which he clearly is, he's also, I think, going to come to the conclusion and say, me firing Dable is going to give me more of an opportunity to get this team to where it needs to be. It's going to give me a longer leash. It's going to give me an extra year. So that's why I think Dable's ultimately going to get fired. But that's just a prediction on my part. Sometimes you're right, sometimes you're wrong.
Yeah, well, don't worry. If you're wrong, people will make sure they go back 4 years and go, remember when you said this? This is a terrible thing. Chris, that aged like milk. Don't go back 5 years and let you know you got that one wrong. I've never understood that, though. Like, who cares? Like, what is your point? Like, yeah. I don't understand I don't get it. So you're wrong. So what? What does that prove?
Yeah, that's what I think is going to happen. But could be dead wrong. They could fire both. They could keep both. I just think it's going to be hard to keep both off a 2-win season when they won 4 or 5 games the year before. The planes flying over the building. Like, I don't know. I think it's going to be hard to do it.
What I do know is definitely, I'm not looking forward to next Sunday, but definitely looking forward to New Year's Day.
Yes.
And calling some playoff football, Chris.
Yes.
We're going to do a doubleheader. We're going to do Oregon, Ohio State on this channel. We're going to do Notre Dame, Georgia on his channel.
Check out a couple of potential future Giants, possibly.
Correct. We're gonna enjoy those games for sure.
I'll tell you, not that I want him, but Riley Leonard's been playing better for Notre Dame.
He did throw the pick yesterday, and I heard the other day when I was doing the game, and he had that one deflected for a pick, and I'm like, oh God, Daniel Jones, but he went to Duke,
Throws to Neighbors, and that's incomplete. 2nd and 10 as the Falcons bat that away.
Well, we're gonna get you a guy that can get you the ball next year, buddy. Just hang in there.
And J-Tac, thank you again, man. He says the kiss of death for Dable is taking over the exactly. I think once he did that, for this offense to be as bad as it's been, regardless who the quarterback is, I think that's going to be what tanks him. Because a offensive genius shouldn't. I don't care who the quarterback is. The offense should be dead last in the league.
Correct.
It's hard to sell the owner that you're an offensive genius. There's a throw out in the flat to Tracy's. He picks up 16, I should say. And then all the narratives, some of it out of Shane and Dable's control, some of it, is in their control. But the fact that Josh Allen's probably going to win an MVP this year, when Dable got this job, due in large part to that he was viewed as the guy that unlocked Josh Allen. The fact that things like that, like the narrative with Saquon, the narrative with McKinney.
Yeah,
things like that. I think it's gonna be very hard for them not to fire anybody.
I agree.
Man in motion is Neighbors, right to left. Here's Locke out of the gun from the 46. Takes the snap, drops back, looks left, comes back right, throws it deep down the sideline, and that's not even
flag. No,
Maybe they deemed it wasn't catchable.
I thought he got interfered with there at the top of the route.
Looked like it.
There's Slayton.
Slayton's just like, yeah, I'll hang out.
Yeah, like, dude, you're a starter. Sit down.
I got to get paid next year. I don't need to get hurt.
Yeah, no, the Giants told him sit down. You're better than Hyatt. We don't want you making any big. You think he comes back, Chris? You think he's done?
I think he's done as a Giant. I think he's done as a Giant, and I wouldn't mind if he comes back, but I think he's done as a Giant. I think like I said, my prediction is we're going to spend big on the wide receiver and free agency.
Yeah, I think so too.
There's Locke as a design quarterback run. He gets a yard. It'll be 3rd and 9.
And John Michael Schmitz is hurt now. I mean, Kubas is in there, whoever that is. I thought JMS was down. I guess he got back up because they haven't stopped anything. And there's Brian Burns. Don't worry, buddy. We'll be better next year.
Can't be worse. Well, we can. I shouldn't say that, but it's tough to be worse.
It'd be tough to be worse. You win a couple games by mistake.
Yeah.
I still have no clue how the hell we beat Seattle. I have no idea how we won that game.
That was in Seattle too, was it? Or maybe it was.
No clue how we won that game. Well, I think he's offsides, Chris.
Yeah, just by a bit. Just by a bit. Strong to Prosper Fitness. Thank you so much. Hey, Merry Christmas, guys. Merry Christmas to you too, man. How crazy would it be if Saquon breaks the all-time rushing record against the Giants and locks up the MVP? I think he's gonna. I don't think he's gonna win the MVP. But
I think Josh Allen's gonna win the MVP, but it's a typical Giants thing. Why wouldn't I mean? We've been so shitty. Why wouldn't he go to our arch nemesis and break the rushing record? It's just the Giants' way right now. I mean, everything that could go bad. It's Murphy's Law. Everything that could go bad will go bad for the Giants. And, you know, and McKinney's a guy that might win Defensive Player of the Year.
McKinney, yeah. I think the MVP will either be Allen or Jackson. If they go by the stats, it'll be Jackson. But if they go by,
I think Josh Allen, dude.
Yeah, if they go by team record and what Allen had to overcome this year with whoa, nice play there by Neighbors.
Adjustment by Neighbors.
There's a flag though, so it's going to come back probably.
I don't know. That might be on the defense there.
I hope so. I'd like to see Neighbors get awarded with the catch.
Yeah, it was a hell of an adjustment by that kid.
Nope.
Eagle shift. How can you do that, dude? I don't know about you, but when I watch other football games, you might see that called once a game, maybe. We do this twice 3 or 4 times a game.
Yeah, we at least twice a week. It seems we get those.
Who's moving there?
Yeah, he wasn't. That one's on Neighbors.
Okay,
I think he wasn't set. Well, I don't know why Neighbors is still shifting his feet.
She already has her Penix jersey. That chick.
And he's offside
again.
These guys are just trying to boast their stats.
There's no way Judon was not offside. Not that I care. You can't tell me he wasn't a step quick, Chris.
He's just trying to boost his sack number, so he's like, I'll risk going offsides. The game's over anyway.
Dude, he's offsides.
Yeah, I know he is.
Come on, man. I'm not blaming Luminor on that one.
No.
I'll blame Evan Neal. He sucked, but I'm not blaming Luminor.
So Giants.
That was definitely not on him. Shit. I mean, that guy got a running start.
And Ken Dorsey fixed Allen, not Dable exposed. I don't know. I mean, I'm not. Oh, did they block that? Yep, they partially blocked.
Got a piece.
Falcons will have it at the 39. I mean, I think Dable deserves some credit. He was a project coming in. He deserves some credit for it, but ultimately, it's still not a good look for him now that Allen's playing even better.
And Allen's talent is. Me and my brother-in-law were talking about this last night. He might be the most talented. Actually, it wasn't blocked. He just shanked it.
Yeah, I think he had to adjust because
it was most talented overall guy I've ever seen. He is fast. He's strong. He's big. He can run. He's got Elway's arm. He's got, the strength. He's got Cam Newton's strength, right?
That's what I always said when I saw him as a prospect. I was always a massive fan of his, even before he took off. That's what I always said. And I didn't know if they'd be able to unlock it because he was a project. But I always viewed him as Cam Newton with an even better arm. He's a freak, like you said. He's a freak.
Yeah, man, he is. And think about it. They let Diggs walk, their best receiver. They let him walk. at the beginning of the year. They got rid of him at the beginning of the year, and hasn't mattered. They're unbelievable.
He's kind of like he's like Cam Newton as a runner because, like you said, he's big and he could barrel you over.
He's like that size. He's like Cam Newton's size, like 6'5", 235.
He's like Ben Roethlisberger in the sense that he's big and he uses his body to be able to extend plays. Yep. Like he fends off defenders like Ben used to do. So he's got that aspect of his game. He's an alien. It's
insane how good he is. And just think we could have drafted him.
It would have been nice.
We don't know how it would have worked out here, but let me see. So James Cook's had a good year, but he has 828 yards. He has 13 touchdowns. But here's the receivers, dude. Keon Coleman, Mac Hollins. They did pick up Amari Cooper in a trade. Curtis Samuel, Marquez Valdez. Like, do any of those pop off the page at you?
No. He's throwing to this. He's basically what he's doing this year. He's basically throwing to the same receivers that Daniel Jones was throwing to in 2022.
Yep.
When he brought us to the playoffs, but he's doing it at an MVP level.
Right. 25 touchdowns.
Yeah.
5 interceptions. He has the highest QBR in the league at 79.2. He's got a 103.5 quarterback rating, which actually isn't really that high, but it's only because he's thrown for 25 touchdowns. But then on top of it,
13 rushing touchdowns.
He's got 11 rushing touchdowns. He's averaging 5 yards a carry. He's got almost 500 rushing yards. Does he have a reception? He does have a receiving touchdown.
On the pitch.
Yep. So he does it all.
And here's Penix. He's going to hand off. Algiers nowhere to go. He gets beat up in the backfield, loses 3.
How about Washington not giving up over there? They have it 3rd and 2 at the Philadelphia 4. They're down 27-14 just underway in the fourth quarter. I'll be watching that one when this one's over because I'm sure it'll go to that game on here.
This game's actually going fast, thank God. It's only 3:30.
That's because the Falcons have just been running the shit out of the football. And they got up to such a big lead. Now we're just running the ball.
Bukal says, do you think the Jaden Hard Knocks was a bit of an act? They knew they couldn't get him, but wanted to make it look like they tried just to save their jobs.
No, I don't think it's a bit of an act.
I think they wanted him.
They definitely wanted him. They didn't know Washington was going to take him. So,
yeah, I think they wanted him.
They definitely wanted him.
Because here's the thing.
You heard Brian Daboll say, he asked Nick Saban or whatever. He's like, Malik Neighbors and Jaden Daniels are 2 massive pain in the asses. I think those are the 2 guys that they really wanted more than anybody else.
Nowhere to go there for Algiers. And I could just as easily argue, Bad Dog, that them showing how much they wanted Jaden Daniels was viewed negatively by the Giants locker room. Yeah. Because if you're Daniel Jones, like you're like, what the hell? Like, So no, I think they legitimately wanted him. I really do. I think they legitimately.
Speaking of Jaden Daniels, you just threw a touchdown to Zacchaeus, and now it's 27-21. So that one, and again, they have Kenny Pickett throwing the football. So if you're watching, you probably stuffed the box.
Oh, I thought that was a pick 6, but then I remembered that Penix gets that ball there so fast.
Yeah. Phillips is saying the same thing.
Yeah.
He's like, what the hell, man? I had a beat on that.
And Mooney gets about 12. Falcons will have to punt.
Yeah, they're not gonna go for this. Again, I don't think Penix has an overwhelmed today, but I think a very solid debut.
Well, he's showing you the traits that you knew he had. He's looked confident. You know, he didn't look like a typical rookie, which he's been playing for a long time, and he had a whole year to sit. Yeah.
So
punts away. Giants are called for the fair catch at the 11.
Right. Like nothing really, like you said, nothing really jumped off the page at you today. But as a debut, I mean, solid. You know, you don't look at him and go, wow, he's not going to be any good.
No, he doesn't.
At the same time, you didn't look at him and go, holy shit, like he can't miss. Like, so, you know, he's the 4th quarterback off the board. You kind of expect that.
He looked good. I wouldn't say great, but he looked good. Yeah, Corey says, hey, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you, Corey. He says, these illegal shifts are killing the momentum of the offense. Yeah.
I don't understand how we can have so many illegal shifts. Yeah, Washington next week. That's a good freaking game. That is
it's a playoff game. That'll be flexed. More than likely.
Be flexed. It is. It's already a night game.
Oh, it's already a night game. Okay.
That'll be a fun one to watch.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I mean, it's not like the offense has much momentum to begin with, Corey. But yeah, the full star penalties. The Giants' offense is so bad that they can't afford anything like that.
Yeah.
J-Tag says, so Shane and Dable claim to fame as being around the people who drafted Josh Allen. That's part of it for sure, yeah. For sure.
Yep.
That's a big reason why they got the job, yeah.
Yep, agreed. Yeah, I'm looking at like the rushing stats. We definitely would have lost this week because Brian Robinson's actually fumbled twice and lost them both. We would have had negative points for him. So yeah, we wouldn't have won this week anyway. We got, and it doesn't matter. I think when you advance, you might get an extra $50, but I don't want to just fucking advance. I want to win the thing. You know what I mean? It's not even about the money. These are guys I've known forever. They're childhood friends. We've known each other for 35 years. So it's really all about bragging. Like we even have a plaque, with the champions listed on it and all this stuff. So it's more about bragging rights and talking shit to each other.
Yeah. No, that's what it was always about for me. The trophy.
Yeah, it's my buddies. And we don't get together that often because obviously, like I said, we all have full-time jobs, we have kids, we have wives. Like we can't hang out the way we used to when we were 18. So it's fun to get together, at the end of August every year. We get together at the end of August in the Super Bowl. We do a big Texas Hold'em tournament, and that's really it. Those are like the only two times we really ever get together anymore. So it's fun. Even though a lot of times I get so frustrated with fantasy football, dude, and I text my buddy, I'm like, fuck this, I'm done. I'm not doing it next year. And then I'm like, I have to because
it's how you stay in touch with your friends.
Right, exactly. And that's my thing. Me and my buddy, every week we're texting back and forth talking about the shit. So, and we're both Giants fans. So it's terrible. My other best friend's an Eagles fan. So, that's difficult.
Locke throws, he hits Neighbors for 5. His Neighbors continues to creep towards that 100 catch mark.
There's a lot of guys in my league. So we have a Jets fan in that league. We have a Lions fan in that league. We have an Eagles fan. We have a Chiefs fan. Did I say the Jets? We have a Jets fan in that league. This mostly Giants fans. I think there's 5 Giants fans. We have a Raiders fan in our league. No, he's not my brother-in-law. No, he's not in the league. It's just another guy. Yeah. So we have a Steelers fan in that league.
There's always one. There's always one Steelers fan.
Yeah.
There's Neighbors in the slot. He bounces off a tackler. He'll pick up 10.
Mondale.
Why do I keep scoring?
You just want Blake Neighbors to break the record. I don't blame you.
That's how locked I am into this game.
I know. Listen, I don't even care either. I just noticed it was 17. Yeah. You see the 1 and you just assume it's Blake Neighbors.
Yeah. And here we go. Here's Locke from his own 24. 4 minutes to go here in the 4th. Giants trail by 27.
Throw a touchdown.
Steps up, throws. He hits Slayton. As Slayton fends off a defender, he'll get about 20 before he gets put. I think that's his first catch today.
It is. Listen, I at this point the game's over. I would love to see Malik Neighbors or Jalen Hyatt catch a touchdown.
Yeah. Hyatt at least had a catch today. My God.
Yeah. There you go.
This quarterback,
I can't believe how good Bo Nix is. He looks so bad the first few games.
He went into a perfect spot. Like the Sean Payton offense is perfect for him.
All these guys are. This is why we need a quarterback, man.
Locke throws and he hits Wandell. I said it right that time. He picks up 10 and a first down.
It's funny, Chris, because I thought that was Neighbors that time. I thought it was Neighbors.
Who's the ultimately? Do you think this quarterback class could pass the Burrow class?
Yeah.
Because Burrow, you got who you got? You got Burrow. You got
Tua and Herbert.
You got Tua. You got Hurts. You got Jordan Love.
Yeah, that's a good class.
Here's Locke.
This class is really good.
As Gray tumbles forward for 3. That's a damn good class, man. But this one could rival it.
This one looks incredible so far. Caleb Williams is the best touchdown to interception ratio of all the rookies. Jaden Daniels, I think it said he was second in quarterback rating or whatever. Bo Nix has the most passing yards. Drake May's got the second highest completion percentage.
Yeah.
Almost 70%. Not a terrible team.
I'll tell you who's impressed me the most, actually.
We haven't even seen McCarthy yet.
You know who's I could argue I think Drake May's impressed me the most out of the class because he's got nothing in New England.
He's got nothing, is right.
Nothing. And he's looked good. Here's Locke. Locke takes the snap, drops back. It's a design screen to Tracy. Tracy with a lead blocker to the 30. Spins out of a tackle up to the 25.
Good job by JMS getting downfield to spring him for even more yardage. But, Chris, so when we played the Seahawks, we saw a lot of the screen game, and it was really effective.
Yeah.
Why did they get away from that? Because this is the first game in a long time we've seen it, and it's worked.
Yeah. I remember we said that for about 3 weeks straight. The screen game was working really well, and they kind of just got away from it.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And
that's a false start on Illuminor.
Full start on the Giants.
He definitely moved. He said, man, if Judon can get an extra step, why can't I? Of course, if he was on the Eagles, they allow that to happen every time. We know they do that every time.
And Tim says, what's your thoughts on ranking comparison Elf? Elf's definitely up there in terms of Christmas movies.
Yeah, I don't like Will Ferrell, so
he's not for everybody.
No. Will Ferrell's good on Saturday Night Live. I can take him in like 20-minute doses.
Yeah.
90 minutes.
I get that.
Too much for me.
I like Will Ferrell, but I get that. I definitely get why people feel that way.
A lot of Saturday Night Live guys, I think. It's not the case with Adam Sandler. Well, I'll be honest. Adam Sandler, same. I like Adam Sandler, but I like his earlier movies. You know, the Happy Gilmores, the Big Daddies, the
Billy
Madison. What the hell is the other one? Maybe those are the ones.
Waterboy.
But again, like 90, 95 minutes of him. I do like The Wedding Singer a lot.
That's
not a typical Adam Sandler movie, but that's probably my favorite Adam Sandler movie.
Yeah.
I really like that movie. Of course, the setting is the 80s. It makes it even better for me. But
right.
Eddie Murphy, different. Obviously, Eddie Murphy was great.
Chevy Chase was
Chevy Chase really good. One of my favorite Chevy Chase movies is Funny Farm. I don't know if you ever saw that. It's underrated.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that one. I don't know why, but I do.
There's a throw to neighbors, another catch for about 15.
It's getting the record right now.
Bill Murray was on Saturday Night Live, right? So
the early ones, Bill Murray, Steve Martin.
Was Chris Rock, was he on Saturday Night Live?
I think so.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of like another guy that's like good for like 20 minutes. Chris Farley, different. Chris Farley cracked me the hell up. I
was
love
great.
Chris Farley, man. He was the
Neighbors again.
Offsides on Atlanta.
Yeah, it was. So Neighbors up to the 5. No, that's on Atlanta.
I take it away from him. You take it away from him.
No, that was definitely an offsides.
They say he pushed off.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Oh, the way he reacted was like he wasn't getting the catch.
Yeah, he just probably saw a flag.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
He's like illegal shift again, right?
Yeah,
he's a non-illegal shift. Yeah.
David Spade, he was on Saturday Night
Live. Yeah, man. Funny Farm is one of my. I mean, obviously, National Lampoon's Vacation is a great show. All the National Lampoons with Chevy Chase. But Funny Farm, I always liked that one. I always thought that was underrated.
And here's Locke. Locke's going to turn. He's going to pitch to Neighbors. Neil leads the way, and to Tracy rather. There's a
holding 73 offense, guaranteed. Because Neil led the way. That's all you had to say.
It's a hold. Was it on Neil?
No, it was on 76.
I was going to say it looked like a good block by Neil. Yeah, it's on Wandell.
Oh, on 17. I read his lips wrong. That's the Giants. That's been us all year. 2-minute warning.
Neil finally makes a good block, and it gets negated.
Washington got the ball back. They have it for 2nd and 5 on their own 18.
What are they down 6?
Yep.
They could win that game.
They could. It'd be a big win for Washington. The Rams are going to beat the Jets. They're up 19-9 under 2 minutes ago. They got the ball. Carolina up 30-27 on Arizona, but they're going to be punting it away 5 minutes ago there. Cleveland is going to lose to Cincinnati. Tennessee down 38-22 in the fourth. That game's over. And the Bears down 34-17. That's over as well. Obviously, the big game of the day for us is Jacksonville-Vegas.
About 40 minutes that kicks off. Big game. And the intern's back. He says, if Winston started, we lose that Browns game. We're a block field goal away from probably losing an OT to the Hawks. Shane don't deserve another year. I won't argue with you on that. I will not argue. I get it. I don't know if he does deserve another year, but I think he's going to get one. But I could be wrong. We'll find out in 2 weeks.
It's definitely. I don't know. Oh, you mean Jameis? Yeah, not Deshaun Watson. No, you're right. I mean, listen, we could definitely be 0-15 right now. I don't know. It's funny because we dominated that Seattle game, but we did almost go into overtime in that game.
Yeah.
So, dude, listen.
To be fair, you could probably say that about 3 or 4 games the other way that we could have won, but regardless, the team.
There's not much to take out of the season. Tyrone Tracy, I feel like Illuminor was a good pickup. I think Runyon was a really good pickup. Tyler Newman's played well. That's about it.
Little Zoe says, as a Raider fan, your guys' performance today pisses me off. And you know what, Little Zoe, I get it, man. I feel your pain, and I hope that you feel a lot better after 7 o'clock.
I hope you win. I mean,
I hope your Raiders find a way to get a win today, man.
Hopefully, it helps you feel better about yourself. Get a win today. It'll go a long way for you Raider fans get a win. My brother-in-law is a Raider fan.
You guys,
we were talking last night, like, who would have thought we'd be like 1-2? Because both of us loved Cameron Ward last year, and we're like, who would have thought we'd be like picking the first 2 picks?
There's not a fan base that deserves a win more today than the Raiders.
I agree. I feel like the Raiders should be able to get it done. I mean, you're going against Mac Jones. It would go a long way. Culture wins are important.
Yeah.
So make sure you guys get a W going forward.
You do what you got to do, man. I hope you guys have a Merry Christmas. You get a win today. All Raiders fans, be happy.
Yeah, of course.
First and goal here for Locke from the 15.
Throw it to Neighbors.
And there's a catch by Wandell on the screen, and Wandell will get 4.
Throw it to Neighbors. You don't think Dable is going to take timeouts here, do you?
No.
Okay.
I hope not. My God, if he does, he just hates Giants fans.
I'm looking at these guys because I don't even know who the hell those guys are on the bench.
And here's Locke from the 11.
They're bringing everybody.
And we've got a flag.
False start.
I hope it's a motion penalty just so we could complain more.
Nah, it's a false start. Got to be because they showed blitz and we flinched.
And J-Man says, is this week's Raiders game our best chance to leap them? Yes. I mean, they play the Saints, who aren't very good either. But, yes, this is our best chance.
Yeah, I think so.
But the Raiders stink. Like, I could definitely see Jacksonville winning that game.
Yeah, the Raiders really are. Just keep throwing the ball to Brock Bowers, and they got a chance.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. What a shock.
Yep.
It's so disappointing, man. I was so happy when they picked him, dude. I'm just thinking he's going to be such a good freaking right tackle. And
garbage.
Awful. It's awful. Thinking we have our bookend tackles for many years to come.
Neighbors needs 20 yards. I saw somebody in the chat say to get to 1,000. So he won't do it this week, but
yeah, next week definitely.
We'll probably do it next week.
He's got to be closing in on 100 receptions, though, right? He how many does he have today?
They showed it earlier. He had 92, and he's had at least 3 or 4 catches since then.
At least.
Locke throws towards the corner. That should have been a pass interference.
That wasn't a good throw at all either.
3rd and goal. He was looking for Neighbors in the corner of the end zone.
Washington is taking the lead. Jaden Daniels to Zacchaeus for 49 yards, and that was with the Eagles having too many men on the field.
How much time left there?
9:06 to go in the 4th.
That'd be a bad loss for the Eagles competing for that number 1 spot.
It would be a bad loss for them, but I'll tell you what's happening in this game today. Jaden Daniels has 4 touchdowns. The Eagles secondary has been really good, and they are getting exposed today a lot.
Good for them. Locke steps up, throws. Oh, he was looking for Neighbors. It was broken up. Incomplete. 4th and goal.
Go for it. Kick a field goal.
I think they're gonna.
Let's say that shit.
I think they're gonna, man. Knowing the Giants, they might even punt.
Yeah.
From the 17.
Oh, would have been a hell of a catch. They double teamed him.
Nope, they're going for it. Fourth and goal.
Gotta go for it.
From the 17, we're going to see 3 kneel downs if they miss this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and the
Giants got to take a timeout. No, the Falcons took a timeout because
there's going to be 12 men on the field.
Oh, was that what happened?
Yeah, a guy was running off the field.
Gotcha.
JTAC says saying the team is close makes Shane look dumb. I mean, I agree that they're not close, but what is Shane supposed to say?
Right.
He's got to sell for him to keep his job, he's selling Mara that he needs a quarterback. So,
and the Giants, just remember next week, guys and girls, Chris and I'll be back 12:30 as we have 2 more games after this one. And like I said, just make sure you guys, we'll talk about it next week as well. But Wednesday, New Year's Day, you're gonna get some bonus Chris and the Bad Dog. We're gonna do 2 college football playoff games, 1 on each channel. It should be awesome.
Yeah, I'm looking for that's gonna be a lot of fun.
That's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Hopefully Notre Dame wins. That'd be I just want good games though at the end of the day.
Hell yeah. Yeah, because this weekend's games sucked.
Yeah.
They were bad.
4th and goal here for Locke from the 17. And a full start.
And more full starts as both bookend tackles moved.
Oh, my God. Again, that's at least the 3rd penalty, I think, on Neal today.
Yep.
And the
rough day. He said it's been a rough day. It's been a rough career. I just heard Moose ever consider moving him to guard, and I said, yeah, how many times have we said that?
I think they have to.
I think so too.
So now it'll be 4th and goal from the 22 after Neal gets hit with his 3rd full start penalty today.
Yeah.
Locke drops back. Falcons send 3, and they still get pressure with 7 blockers. Locke looking towards the end zone, throws, incomplete. Falcons will get the ball. They'll kneel, and we'll get to move on with our day.
Correct. And go watch the rest of that Commanders-Eagles game. And the big game tonight, or the big game coming up, is Jacksonville and
the Raiders. Bodo says, all right, guys, love you too, man. Wish you and yours
you're the man, Bodo.
Merry Christmas to all Giants fans. Have a good one, man.
Yes.
And good luck to your Steelers the rest of the way.
Yep.
The M says, I had the Giants and 41. I'm good. 41 total points?
Yeah.
That's
what we have. 41 total points. I don't know I think he meant he bet against the Giants because they didn't cover.
Yeah. But good to see, man. J-Man says the draft slot stuff is complex. If we lose one more, do we well, J-Man, if the Giants lose out, the worst they'll be picking is second.
Yep.
That's the worst.
Because Ross and the Raiders are the only teams with 2 wins.
Yeah. So if they lose out, the worst they'll pick is second, and obviously the best they'll pick is first. But the only way that's going to happen is the Raiders have to win 1 out of the last 3.
Right, which they have a chance to do today.
Yeah, just because based off the projected strength of schedule, we're going to lose out on the tiebreaker.
Yeah.
So you got to hope that the Raiders win 1 game if you're rooting for that number 1 pick.
Right. Yep.
Let's see. Thanks, guys. I'm almost done cooking. Well, I hope you enjoy whatever you cook.
Yep. Yes, agreed.
Y'all still watching this bit? Barely.
Yeah.
There wasn't even any we weren't scared at all throughout this game.
We led for a little bit.
Yeah, well, yeah, there was a little bit of tense
first quarter, but then we became the Giants. The pick 6 was the end of it.
Yeah. But yeah, at this point, I hate to say it, man, because that's so against my nature. Yeah, I'm hoping they lose.
Yeah, lose out. There's 2 games left. Winning a game doesn't accomplish anything. I asked somebody that because they're like, what kind of Giants when root for his team to lose? I said, listen, just what does it accomplish if we win a game? Yeah. I said, just answer that question. I'm not telling you can't root for them to win, but what does it accomplish? Crickets.
Yeah.
Give me no answer. I was like, what does that accomplish?
Yeah, it's not a situation like the Panthers where you got Bryce Young and you're hoping he gets better.
Right. That's the thing. If you have a rookie quarterback and you already got that guy in place and whatever. Well, Philadelphia's got a 4th and 1. I can't believe they didn't just do the tush push on 3rd and 1. Now Hurts ain't in there, but I wonder if they'll go for it on the Philadelphia 43. Is the Falcons are just going to kneel it out.
And there's one knee. They'll have to take one more, and we'll get to move on with our days.
Correct. And they Kenny Pickett threw a pass for a first down there.
Am I giving Shane? No, I think Shane's keeping his job, Michael, and I would keep him. I know fans hate me saying that, but it's how I truly feel. I think I'd fire Dable for the reasons I expressed earlier in the stream. I think I'd fire Dable.
I think Dable. I won't be surprised if he doesn't make it. Shane, I will be, honestly.
And Penix will take one more knee, and we will move on to Week 17 as we see if the Giants could keep this up, Ed.
Right. We lost our 10th in a row, longest losing streak in team history. So we have some more history. We're going to lose. This is 13 losses. We've never lost more than 13 in any year. We're going to accomplish that. We've only picked once, I think, first. We haven't picked first overall since the 60s or something crazy.
We've never picked first, at least in the Super Bowl era. I don't think we've
not in the Super Bowl era, yeah. So that's possible, but the Raiders have to help us out with that. We'll see.
Yeah. And J-Man says, Bad Dog, I'm fine with the 2 spot based on the hype. Sanders will go 1 and Ward will go 2. So that's the guy.
Yeah, I'm okay with it, J-Man. As long as they're picking top 2, I'm okay. Because even if the Raiders did surprise and went Cameron Ward, I'm not gonna throw a fit if they took Shedeur. I just prefer Cameron Ward, but I don't want to be picking 7th. I don't want to win and pick 7th and then you're screwed. I don't want that. So I do prefer Cameron Ward. If we're picking first, we can take whoever. But I'm fine with it. I'm fine with the second spot.
My mindset on that is, and I get what J-Man's saying. If you prefer Cam Ward, it's more likely Shedeur is going to go first, which I agree with. Yeah. But my mindset on it as a fan is this, Bad Dog. I want the first pick no matter what, because I don't want to even have any sense of doubt that
they wanted the other guy.
That's their guy. Like if they pick second, you'll never know.
Right.
So I just want the first pick. If they want Cam Ward, take Cam Ward. But I want the first pick. I want to know that that's the Giants guy. So that's where I'm at. Yeah, that's where I'm at. But Bad Dog, I'm not going to keep you any longer.
All right. I'll be live later tonight if you guys want to tune in. Probably like 10 o'clock. We'll talk about this BS. I'm just not going to do a post game. We'll do a live video tonight. Right. We'll hang out for a little bit later tonight, and then we'll talk about it. And got 2 more weeks of this, and like I said, I'm very excited about doing the playoff games with Chris with the college. I'm looking forward to that for sure.
Yeah, it should be fun.
All right, brother. Be good.
Have a Merry Christmas. I don't think
too, man. Yes. Merry Christmas, everybody out there. If I don't see you tonight or I don't see you during the Lakers streams here coming up. So, Chris, I won't see you so enjoy your holiday, brother, and we'll see you next week, man.
Yep. I'll see you on Thursday for the show.
Thursday night. Yep.
We'll do the games.
All right. Later, brother. Be good.
Be good. All right, let's catch up with this chat, and then we'll close this out in probably 10 minutes. J-Tac says, who to replace Dable? Then I have no idea who's going to replace Dable. But I gave my reasoning throughout the stream as to why I think they're going to go that route. And maybe I'll be dead wrong. But that's my opinion on the matter. And I don't want – I know most fans aren't going to agree with me, but that's how I honestly feel, and I think that's what's going to happen. Blue Collar says, let's say we get 1, we take Sanders, then he pulls an Eli. They draft Ward, we trade, whatever you – see, I mean, Blue Collar – yeah, I mean, that's ideal, right? If he doesn't want to be a Giant, of course, you trade out of the pick, you get a ton, and then you're still able to get Cam Ward. But I've never believed in that narrative. I've always believed that Deion Sanders is going to be more than happy to have his son be a New York Giant. It's the biggest media market there is. From the outside looking in, if you're Deion Sanders and you want your son to go to the best of the possibilities that he could go to, you want him to go to the best spot. Now, the Giants have been a really poorly run organization, but so have the Raiders in recent history. And what have the Giants done above all else? They have shown tremendous patience with Daniel Jones. So if I'm Sanders, biggest media market, they've shown the willingness to ride it out with their quarterback. They have Malik Neighbors, who's one of the best young weapons in football. I've never believed in that narrative that Deion Sanders won't want Shedeur Sanders being a New York Giant. So I just don't believe in that. I think I'm not saying that he needs him to be a Giant. I think he'd be fine with him being a Raider also. But I think Deion Sanders' goal is to make his son the first pick, whether that's the Giants or the Raiders. I think he'd be fine with either spot. Let's see. Jake X says Ben Johnson will be very selective, allegedly. We're not getting Ben Johnson. If we fire Dable, we're not getting Ben Johnson. No way. J-Man says, would you try to dangle one to the Raiders for Sanders? If I believed he was the best quarterback, sure. I would want to get the guy. But I just don't see the Raiders. I think whoever has that first pick, they're going to want to sell the fan base that this is our guy. I don't think they're going to trade back and draft another quarterback. I don't think it's going to happen. Just don't think it's going to happen. Whoever has the first pick, if they need a quarterback, they're going to stay there and they're going to take that quarterback. Unless it's an Eli situation, like Blue Collar just suggested, where they make it blatantly obvious that they won't play for that team. But I just don't see that being the case. I think Sanders would be fine being a Giant or a Raider. We showed patience with Jones, scrub, but how about we dump a... I mean, Miguel, see, you have to take into account the variables. Of course, some people would make it a white-black thing if they got rid of Sanders after 4 years, but the fact of the matter is they would have gotten rid of Daniel Jones after 4 years. If there was a quarterback worth drafting, there wasn't. That's why they didn't extend him on the fifth-year option. That told you everything that you needed to know. They planned on letting go of Daniel Jones after 4 years, but they couldn't because they ended up making the playoffs and had the 25th pick. Of course, some people will make that narrative, but that's a stupid narrative to make. Daniel Jones was like a cat. He had 9 lives. Everything that could fall right for him to keep his job did. And so his first year here, there wasn't a quarterback worth drafting. And then that year, he had his best year as a pro. The team won a playoff game, and they couldn't select a quarterback. So everything that could break right for him in terms of being able to keep his job, it broke right. Kuda says, what's with the Deion Sanders narrative? Do people not keep up with what's going on? There's video with so many. Yeah, well, they're still going to. I think part of it is a lot of people just don't like Deion Sanders. I think that's a lot of it. A lot of the talk that like people don't want Shedeur Sanders, it's because they don't like Deion Sanders. They don't like his personality. And I get it, but I think that has a lot to do with it. But I don't buy it. I think people are like making up narratives because they just don't want Shedeur to be a Giant. So they're saying, oh, I don't think Deion would let his son be a Giant. I completely disagree. I think he'd welcome it with open arms. I agree. I agree with Jarrett. I do think that there's fans that are rooting for him not to be here, and they're making up bullshit. D. Grant says, Entertainer, what was the Giants' real reason for getting rid of DJ before the end of the season? Don't seem to make sense to me. What was the real reason the Giants for getting rid of DJ before the end of this season? I think the main reason, D. Grant, is the injury clause. I think above all else, that's what it was. I think that's why they benched him, because they knew. I mean, you've seen teams do this in recent history. You saw the Denver Broncos do it with Russell Wilson, and you saw, I think it was the Raiders did it with Carr, if I'm not mistaken. You've seen teams do this in recent history. The Giants were aware of the injury clause. They knew that they weren't bringing Daniel Jones back at the end of this year, and they said, let's bench the guy. And then when it became I don't think the Giants anticipated that the Daniel Jones thing was going to blow up the way that it did, because it didn't blow up as largely for when the Broncos did it with Russell Wilson. But this is New York. The media made it a huge thing. They were talking about how it was the safety. And then they said, okay, let's do right by Daniel. We don't want this to be a circus. We don't want to make it an embarrassment for him. And then they let him go and sign with a team of his choice. But the main reason why they benched him was because they knew the season was over. They knew they weren't going anywhere, and they didn't want to risk him getting hurt. That's what happened. And they're tanking. I really believe they're tanking. J-Tag says, Deion Sanders Jr., brother of Shedeur, already said the New York rumors are false, and he would play there. I mean, so did Deion Sanders and Shedeur Sanders. Cutie says, people should watch Deion with Rich Eisen video. He clearly states he's fine with the Giants. Yeah. And I think that we could hate it as fans, the way that the Giants handled the Daniel Jones thing, even though I do think there's reasoning for why they did some of the things they did. But we could hate as fans the leash that the Giants gave Daniel Jones. But if you're Shedeur Sanders, you should be thrilled with that. You should say, okay, well, this is an organization that has at least shown that they're not going to quit on me after 1 year. They're not like the Arizona Cardinals. No way could any quarterback expect 6 years. There was a lot of things that had to transpire for that to happen. Daniel Jones got lucky, but they're not going to be an organization that's just going to quit on a quarterback after a year or two, or at least you shouldn't feel that going in if you're Shedeur Sanders. And that's a huge plus if you're a quarterback, right? You're like, okay, this organization has shown they're going to give me an opportunity. Now, they didn't do a good job of supporting Daniel Jones the way that, he needed to be supported, but either way, he failed as a quarterback. I'm not making excuses for him, but yeah, I think that's a plus if you're Sanders looking at the possibility of playing for the Giants. J-Man says, Chris, who is your top quarterback and why? Sanders award. Sanders is my top quarterback. I haven't shied away from that. But it's not like I'm going to be upset if they take Cam Ward. And I know he's the most popular amongst most Giant fans of the two, or at least it seems that way. Why Shedeur for me? I just think Shedeur is a more polished prospect. I really believe that. When I watch him, I just feel like he's a more polished prospect. I think he's got really good mechanics. I like the fact that he makes checks at the line of scrimmage. A lot of college quarterbacks don't do that. I think he's really accurate. Like when you watch him, he's very accurate. I think his arm strength, well, it's not elite. It's not. I think it's good enough. I think it's good. And I think his mobility is underrated. And I like that he's and I'm not saying Cam Ward doesn't do this, but I like that he's a quarterback that doesn't look to run. He intentionally goes out of his way to look to throw when things break down. He scans the field. The biggest knock, and I think it's a fair knock and worry with Shedeur Sanders outside of the potential off the field stuff, is his pocket awareness is not great. And that's a big concern. Now, to be fair, he has an awful, or at least last year, he had an awful offensive line with Colorado. It's still not great. But yeah, at times he runs into sacks. So I think that's a fair criticism of Shedeur. But if I had to pick one, I would pick him. I think he's the better prospect. Let's see. Doesn't mean it'll work out in the NFL. It's a guessing game. And yeah, the Eagles just got an interception. So 5 turnovers for Washington. So the Eagles about to take it. It's not over yet because Washington has 2 timeouts plus the 2-minute warning. So if they hold them to 3, the game's not over. Blue Collar says, releasing DJ hurt draft capital. We didn't owe him. Oh, you mean I think what you mean by that, Blue Collar, is by releasing DJ, we didn't have the opportunity to be able to get a comp pick for him. Yeah, that's fair. But here's the thing. If that's what you mean, and I don't know if that's what you mean by that, but if that's what you mean, Blue Collar, and maybe I'll be dead wrong. And if I am, I am. I'm just stating my opinion. I think Joe Shane's coming back. So if that's what I believe, and it is what I believe, that means I think the Giants are going to spend a lot in free agency this year. I just do. I think they're going to be aggressive in free agency this year. And if they're going to be aggressive in free agency this year, well, then you're not going to get a comp pick for Daniel Jones because they're going to offset that by bringing somebody else in. That's what I honestly believe. I think the Giants are going to, if Shane is back, I think they're going to spend big on a wide receiver. I think they're going to spend big on a cornerback because Joe Shane knows his job and the coach who's potentially going to replace Dable if Dable's not back is going to depend on the quarterback. So they're going to do whatever they can this offseason to set that quarterback up as well as they possibly can before he takes the field. I think they're going to spend big on a wide receiver. I think they'll try to shore up the offensive line even more so. And I think they're going to get a cornerback one in free agency. That's what I think they're going to do. And that will offset the Daniel Jones contract. So I don't think they were going to get a comp pick anyway. J-Tac says, I thought DJ's cap hit was less as post June 1. Well, for this year, sure, but you still are going to owe the same amount of money on the dead hit. But yeah, you could split it over the course of 2 years. I mean, I agree with this in theory, D-Nice. I just don't trust Mara to not fire Dable the next year, which would be a mistake if you draft a rookie quarterback. I just don't trust him. Stanley says, Chris, what do you think about Ohio State quarterback Will Howard? Because I think he might be a sleeper in the draft. I've only watched like 1 or 2 Ohio State games this year, but and again, to be fair, I watched Ohio State earlier in the year. I wasn't impressed with their entire team. I didn't watch the playoff game last night, though. Blue Collar says, what wide receiver ones and cornerbacks will be available? T. Higgins, he's the first name. Chris Godwin, he's available. I think there's another pretty good. Michael Pittman, he's available from the Colts. So I think those are the 3 biggest names at wide receiver. Maybe I'm forgetting one. I haven't looked at the cornerbacks, but I definitely think they're going to look to attack cornerback. Like, I expect them to make it like a James Bradbury like signing this offseason. J-Tag says, Will Howard looked incredible yesterday. Yeah, I didn't see the game yesterday, so I don't think he's going in the first round, if that's what your question is. The sleeper quarterback I've heard is Dylan Gabriel, only 5'11" and not a great arm. Listen, who knows, right? Like, I wasn't a fan of Bo Nix, and he looks really good. Granted, I think he's in like an ideal scenario. Like, I think he fits Sean Payton's offense perfectly, but still, he looks great. So I'm never gonna like completely say a quarterback can't be good. Maybe Dylan Gabriel will be good. Would he be my choice? No, but could he be good? Sure. You think we go O-line? I think we need to continue to improve that. I don't know the method in which the Giants are going to go about doing it, whether it be in the draft or free agency. But yeah, I think they need to continue to try to improve the offensive line. What's up, Delano, man? Thanks for popping in. But if I was making a prediction today, and again, this prediction's irrelevant right now because we don't know for sure if Joe Shane's going to be the GM or not. But if Joe Shane's coming back as the general manager for the New York Giants, if you said, Chris, make a prediction, what's going to be their biggest signing in the offseason? I think it's going to be a wide receiver. Because he's going to say to himself, okay, let me go get a guy like T. Higgins, pair him with Malik Neighbors. All of a sudden, Shedeur Sanders is set up for success. If I could get this offensive line right. Obviously, easier said than done, but I think he'll continue to try to improve that as well. So that's what I think he's going to do. I think he's going to spend big on the wide receiver position in free agency. Do you predict Evan Neal will finally be moved to guard next year? I hope he gets an opportunity in training camp. Both Shane and Dable have not impressed me, but Dable has gotten worse each year, and Shane had his best draft class and signings this season. But letting X go, yeah. I'm not saying you're wrong for having this opinion, Upper West, because I obviously get that opinion. Like, I think there's a strong argument that Dable's done a better job than Shane. Just for the simple reason year one, Dable won Coach of the Year. That's not happening. They're not. It's almost unprecedented where a team. And I know somebody on Twitter brought it up to me. I think the Titans did it. I think they fired their GM and they kept Mike Vrabel. But that's a little bit different. First off, Mike Vrabel had more success than Brian Dable as a head coach. He brought them to the playoffs, I think, like 3 or 4 straight years. Like, he was a really good head coach. A little bit different. Plus, there was some turmoil in that front office. But it is almost unprecedented where a GM, especially when they came in together. So this isn't like Dable has credentials as a head coach before he came to the New York Giants. Almost unprecedented where a head coach would keep his job and the GM would be fired. I don't see it. If they're going to make a split, I think Shane's the guy that keeps his job. Maybe they keep both. Or maybe they fire both. I'm not saying I know for a fact. I'm just giving you guys my prediction. If I had to make a prediction, and I don't need to continue to go over the reasoning as to why, but if I had to make a prediction, I think Shane stays and Dable goes. And it's not because I think Shane's done a better job. Do you think it was smart for the Mets to give Soto a 15-year contract? I mean, most teams, it's almost a guaranteed, Cougar man, that no matter what, that contract's not going to work out. Like, in terms of, like, you're paying for the front end of that contract, right? He's not going to be a great player for 15 years. But at the end of the day, you have to take into account Steve Cohen's the Mets owner. He has more money than anybody else in the sport. So he can afford to eat the last 6-7 years of that contract, and Soto being just a DH and not that good of a player, and continue to build the baseball team. So That has to be factored in. He's richer than the next 3 owners combined. And if the Mets win a World Series, yeah, it's worth every penny. So, yeah, I think it's a contract where you know you're going to be eating the second half of it. But if he helps you win a World Series, who cares? Jake Ag says, rewatch Hard Knocks, make Shane look clueless. I'll rewatch it. I have after the end of the season. I'll rewatch it. I really don't want to put myself through that torture, but I'll rewatch it. It only 3% of Cohen's net worth. I doubt he cares about the money. Yeah, exactly, Dan. It's like you have to judge these contracts differently based off of the fact that there's no salary cap and based off of who the owner is. Like back when Wilpon was the owner, the Jason Bay contract was catastrophic. Like it ruined the franchise for 5 or 6 years because then the Mets were so cheap back then that if they missed on one guy, they wouldn't be aggressive. The next time they were aggressive was when they traded for Yoenis Cespedes. So based off who the owner is for the Mets, I really don't care how that contract turns out the last 5 years. What is the position of need for the Giants? I mean, you start with quarterback, offensive line, defensive line. The run defense is still awful. Cornerback, and I think we need another wide receiver. So we have needs all over. There is not one position group on this team where I say to myself that's not a need. We can't improve that. There's not one position group, not one. Now, there's obviously some position groups that we're further along than others, but could we use an upgrade at the linebacker? Sure, why not? Could we use an upgrade at the edge? Sure, why not? So there's not one position where I look at them like, no, we can't improve. But the biggest area of needs, trenches, still the trenches, offensive and defensive line. We still can't stop the run, quarterback, wide receiver, and cornerback. Those are the biggest needs. Jackson, man, thank you very much, man. The Giants may never learn. Fire Coughlin, keep Reese. Fire Shermer, keep Gedman. Fire Dable, keep Shane. What's the definition of insanity? I'm not saying they're going to do this. I'm just giving you my prediction. I think those circumstances are different, but I get the narrative, and I get why fans feel the way that they do. I think it's a little bit different, though. The first one you're talking about, Coughlin and Reese, first off, they both should have been fired together. But it's a little bit different. Where the fact that those guys were together for 10 years. And at that point, they should have fired both. They should have just completely scrapped it. But the reason why, if they do go this route, why I think they would keep Shane and fire Dable is to make sure you're setting up the future quarterback for success and you don't want to completely blow it up again and show that you had a quick trigger finger with the general manager. If you keep Dable, if Mara knows he's going to have the balls to look the fan base in the face again next year if the team wins 3 or 4 games with a rookie quarterback and not fire Dable, bring Dable back. Bring him back. Because they have to have patience if they're drafting this quarterback. If they're going to go that route and stick with Shane, they cannot fire whoever the head coach is, whether it's Dable or whether it's Dable's replacement. They can't fire them after the quarterback's rookie year. So if Mara knows he's going to take all the venom from the fan base next year, if he's going to push forward Shane and Dable, and he says no matter what happens, these guys are getting 2 years with this quarterback, then bring back Dable. But as a fan, and with the knowledge of seeing what Mara did after Daniel Jones's rookie year, when the fan base said you have to fire Shermer, and he fired Shermer, I don't think he's going to have the balls to do it. So knowing that the fan base is demanding blood, I think Mara's going to say, I don't want to completely blow it up. I don't want to look completely dysfunctional. I don't want to fire a GM after what was really 2 off seasons, because the first off season he had no cap space whatsoever. He never got a chance to take his quarterback. He sold me on his plan, even though it doesn't look great right now. I don't want to completely blow it up. I think I'm going to stick with Shane, but I want to set that quarterback up for success, and I don't want to feel tempted to have to fire Dable after the quarterback's rookie year. So we're going to fire Dable now, and we're going to ensure that quarterback gets 2 years. That's what I think is going to happen. I don't work for the Giants. I'm just a fan telling you my opinion. That's what I think is going to happen. You may not want that, but I don't think it's the same circumstance as Reese and Coughlin, because they were here for 10 years. And they weren't at that point looking to draft a franchise quarterback. They still had their franchise quarterback on the roster with Eli Manning. So I think it's a little bit different. But in an ideal world, I agree with you. I'd rather just fire both or keep both. But it's just how I feel. That's what I think is going to happen. Let's see. LP says they need to hire an experienced head coach enough with trying to convert coordinators into a head coach. Vrabel, if they're gonna, I would love Vrabel. I don't know if Vrabel would want the job, because he's gonna be a high in demand coach. So I'd have to see which coaching jobs are going to be available. Obviously, the Jet job is going to be available. Obviously, I think there's a good chance the Cowboys job would be available. I have to see what jobs are going to be available. The Bears job. I mean, right off the bat, right? The Bears are going to be looking for a head coach, right? So right off the bat, that's a more attractive job. I mean, they got Caleb Williams. So, I mean, I don't know if Vrabel would want this job. But if he did, yeah, I would love Vrabel. And the Commanders just beat the Eagles. That's a bad loss for the Eagles. And that's a bad loss if you're rooting for the tank for the Giants, because now it's more likely that the Eagles will have nothing to play for the last week of the season. Because if they were 13-2, it's obviously much more probable that game's going to mean something in terms of getting that first round bye. So that's, if you're rooting for the tank and rooting that the Eagles, will have to play the starters the last week, that's a bad loss for that as well. J-Tag says NFL teams really like Marcus Freeman, head coach of Notre Dame. I mean, he's done a great job this year with the program. I don't know how he's viewed in NFL circles, but he's done a great job this year with Notre Dame. I mean, they lost, what was it, week 2 to Northern Illinois, and then since then he's righted the ship. He's gotten that team to win 10 straight games. They look great their first playoff game, so he's done a great job this year with Notre Dame. Yeah, thanks, nice. We will lose to the second. Oh, I agree. Obviously, it's more likely we will lose to the first string, but I agree. I think we'll still lose to the second string. Yeah, I agree. I'm not upset about it. I'm just talking about, thinking about it from the tank perspective. But I agree. I'm always rooting for the Eagles to lose. And the big benefit is it's much less likely now the Eagles are going to go to the Super Bowl, right? If the Eagles had the number 1 seed, they had the bye, the Lions had to come to Philadelphia, more likely that the Lions would lose. So from that standpoint, yeah, which is much more important. So yes, I agree. Tana, do you think any good coach gets fired that could change the landscape like a McVay? I think they'd be fools to fire McVay. So the only way I could see McVay, he would quit, but he wouldn't quit and then come to the Giants. I think he would take some time off. I don't think they would fire McVay. NFC East could be the best division of football. We need to step up, and we need our franchise quarterback. I don't think it's the best, but it's one of the best. The NFC North is, at least right now today, is better. The Vikings obviously are 12-2. The Lions 12-2. The Bears are not good, but even they have some promise long term. And the Packers are good too. So yeah, I think the NFC North's the best of it. The AFC North is a close second. Ravens are great. Steelers are good. The Bengals, they've underachieved, but they're good. The Browns are awful. But I think the NFC North's the best division. Jaden is so good, pains me to say, but he's really, really good. I'm going to be honest, JC. I thought he could be really good in the NFL, but he has surprised me this year with how good he's looked in his rookie year. Now he's an experienced quarterback, so that's a plus coming in your first year. That there's a higher probability you're probably going to get off to a better start, such as a guy like a Joe Burrow, a more experienced quarterback in their rookie year that had a lot of time, a lot of games that he played at the collegiate level. But I did not think he'd look this good year one. He's looked really good. I have no idea, Sean. If the Giants were to fire Shane, I have no idea. I have no idea. Like, for me to even start to formulate an opinion on that, I would need to see the candidates. But I could be dead wrong, man. I've been wrong before. I'm strongly, like, if I had to put a bet down right now, I bet strongly that Joe Shane's coming back. Like, really strongly. T says Dable desperately wanted Jaden Daniels. He's probably crying his eyes out on the inside. Yeah. We likely retain the head coach and GM. I mean, I think that's the right decision if you're keeping Shane. We'll see. I'm not against that. I just don't know if Mara has the balls to say, because you can't fire those guys after the quarterback's rookie year. So if you're gonna push forward with them, you better be willing to fight the animosity from the media and the fan base next year if the team wins 4 games to fire both Mara and Shane to both Shane and Dable. Where if you were to fire Dable this year, I think it would be a little bit more leeway. Fans would say, okay, they got a first-year head coach, rookie quarterback. So we'll see. But guys, I am gonna go. I gotta get something to eat. I'm starving. I didn't eat lunch before the stream. I hope you guys have a Merry Christmas. I appreciate all you guys. Enjoy the holiday. Enjoy the football. Hopefully we get some luck here with this Raiders game and we move up to the first pick. Hopefully you guys get everything that you wanted under your trees. But yeah, you guys have a great rest of your day and a Merry Christmas.